presidents on the Capitol Hill Grill. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The heads of Harvard, MIT, and the University of Pennsylvania testifying at a hearing about anti-Semitism on campus amid pro-Palestinian protests.
All of these three presidents have condemned what happened on October 7th and also stated that they do believe that Israel has the right to exist. That statement actually brought tears to the eyes of several Jewish students that were inside the hearing.
Fox's Aisha Hasni on the Hill. Harvard's president says her school is trying to teach students to have constructive conversations.
House Republicans, though, are accusing her and the other presidents of allowing a culture of anti-Semitism to fester, blaming the liberal ideologies being taught at these schools.
At a news conference before the hearing, Jewish students described feeling unsafe and being afraid to go to class. FBI Chief Christopher Frey warning about multiple threats at an elevated level and urging lawmakers to reauthorize a key provision of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act.
Allowing 702 to lapse or amending it in a way that undermines its effectiveness would be akin to laying bricks to rebuild another pre-9/11 style wall.
But he's facing pushback over concerns about surveillance on U.S. citizens. Israeli forces have a town in southern Gaza surrounded, turning attention to more Hamas strongholds. The Wall Street Journal reporting they might use seawater from the Mediterranean to flood tunnels.
This report coming out today indicating that Israeli forces have set up a number of pumps, and they are debating whether or not to fill some of the tunnels in the northern part of Gaza with water to destroy them.
Fox's Trey Yingst reports, though, there's concern that could contaminate fresh water for civilians. One Hamas official telling reporters no more talk of hostage releases until Israel's aggression in Gaza stops. Israel has said it has to keep up the pressure on Hamas. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, you're up next.
My throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Please welcome to the stage.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Hey, St. Louis, brace yourself for the ultimate holiday deal with Consumer Cellular. Snag an incredible 50% off the Iris Flip when you buy before December 17th, making it only $34.50. The Iris Flip is all the phone and camera you need with a user-friendly design, the perfect flip phone companion. Plus, you'll get nationwide coverage and always free activation. Don't miss out. Head to one of our 4 retail locations in your area and seize this deal this holiday season.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Windy and chilly on this Tuesday afternoon. Temperatures are now starting to drop, and we'll be taking a slow drop through the 40s this afternoon. A bit of a changeable sky. Slow clearing tonight, but it's cold down to 28 degrees. Wednesday, sunny and chilly, 48. We've got a couple of warm days, especially the early afternoon anyway. Thursday and Friday, low 60s. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Pajamagram's famous naturally nude pajamas are back. A very luxurious Christmas gift for her, one that'll make you a holiday hero. This year, Pajamagram has upped the ante. How about a free Barely There naturally nude nightie? How about $75 of savings? How about gift packaging options and quick delivery? That's an effortless 2-in-1 deluxe gift that you both are guaranteed to love. Soft and silky with a barely there feel, curve caressing with a fit that's better than lingerie. Best selling for a reason. Pajamagram's naturally nude pajamas and nightie are designed to make her feel amazing and drive you wild. Now is the time to win Christmas. Now is the time to go get your special someone naturally nude from Pajamagram. But hurry, this gift sells out every year. Shop now while it lasts. Head to Pajamagram.com for naturally nude pajamas and save $75 on a free naturally nude nightie.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
This holiday season, give them a Stihl. Save $30 on the GTA 26 battery-powered garden pruner. Go to StihlUSA.com/gift guide. Now $149.99 was $179.99 MSRP. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us today on 97.1 FM Talk. Interesting show that we have lined up for you because we're going to speak with Jim Carafano, as we usually do on Tuesday, 20 minutes later than usual to accommodate a flight schedule of his. But I am very much so looking forward to talking to Jim Carafano about the status of the conflict in the Middle East and also what's taking place on the southern border continuously, over and over again. Really without ceasing, it sure seems. Knowing what we can see with our own eyes and knowing that there are many people who are coming to this country and flooding through the system. I've seen this with my own eyes. I was able to this year go to the border with the generous help of Americans for Prosperity Illinois and go to McAllen, Texas and see up close and personal what the situation is. And it's amazing how the ground zero for these individuals coming into our country, how much those areas on our border, the people who are living a daily life with the influx of individuals coming here, they've learned how to live with it and just pass people through. It's not like they're all coming to McAllen, Texas and settling there. They're passing through and they're coming into the country. We know that we are struggling in a whole variety of different places in the United States. And of course, in the state of Illinois, our Senator Dick Durbin has an idea.
Says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces.
I wonder if Senator Durbin has asked himself why that is. Why recruiting is so difficult in the United States military right now. I wonder if it has anything to do with how, in many, many cases, people in the activist political industry have made it so that young people hate America. Young people despise what America stands for. They don't even understand what America stood for, and they're redefining what it stands for today. Why would you want to sign up to give your life for something potentially, something that is bigger than just any one individual person? Why would you want to sign up for that if you hated it? Nobody would. It doesn't make sense to me that we aren't addressing the initial problem. And, maybe people are starting to turn around on this issue a little bit as they've removed that COVID vaccination requirement. Maybe some people are starting to wise up, but it seems as though we've had to suffer in our military complex before we were able to say, you know what, maybe this wasn't the best way. I'm going to ask Jim Carafano about that. I'm going to ask him about the usefulness of these individuals who are flooding into our country. If we let them fight and serve for the United States of America, if they should be given citizenship. It'll be very interesting to see what he has to say about that. Our next guest, though, in about 15 minutes from right now, is named Larry Alex Taunton. I'm not super familiar with him. I've been familiarizing myself with him, but I came across this post that he put on Twitter. I guess maybe it had gone viral. And he's got a show, which I think, is it mainly featured on YouTube? Yes?
Yes.
It's called Ideas Have Consequences. He's an author and a columnist. He's been featured in a lot of major national publications. And I found this thread that he posted to be really, really important for this moment in time. Now, you know how much I love Christmas. And I've been preparing for Christmas for well over a month because I love it. It just makes me happy. I think it's something that brings joy into my home, and I'm not going to turn away those types of things that bring good, wholesome joy into my home. But this thread from Larry Alex Taunton highlights something specific that is a really hot issue right now. He talks about that it's called Women Make the Holidays, literally. That's kind of the headline of the thread. It's the first thing he writes. And he's distinguishing his experience over the course of his lifetime and the role that women have in it. And what a bold statement in 2023 to come out and say that women do something, because we don't even define what a woman actually is. In our accepted public culture today, we're very apprehensive to say anything because we don't want to isolate people. Most of the people who are not really pushing themselves into the fray they understand what reality is. But they're not looking to upset anybody. They're not looking to they don't hate anybody. They just know what they know. They know what you know. And they're not looking to ruin anyone's day. In many cases, that's the way I am or have been. But there are just some basic truths that I think are important to highlight and to celebrate, because as a woman myself, I am finding more and more and more the things that make women special, women powerful, the things that make women necessary are now being pushed by the wayside when people remain silent, and women, for what makes women women, are being made to be, I don't even know if obsolete is the right word, but women are being made to be fluid, made to be non-definitive, when there are specific things that are only women can do those things, and you know what those things are. Those are supposed to be championed by culture. That's how you value people, that women can contribute in a specific way. Now, most people are thinking right now childbirth, but it's not just that. That's the big one. But not every woman bears children, and a woman who doesn't bear children is no less valuable than a woman who does. However, there are elements that women bring to the table that on the whole men do not, and they are important things. And to celebrate them, not to exclude other people in the celebration of one generalization of women. If you are not somebody who fits into this category, that doesn't mean that you are being slandered or insulted or excluded. But there was a moment in time in my lifetime where we celebrated women pretty hardcore for the things that women do. Like, it was a big deal. It was kind of a feminist thing to do, to lift up women and celebrate them for what they bring to the table. And we're going to speak with Larry in about 10 minutes. But I want to, before we get to that, I want to read to you this Twitter thread that he posted. And you can follow him on Twitter or X at Larry Taunton, Taunton. This is what he said. Women make the holidays, literally. When I was a little boy visiting my grandparents on Vancouver Island, I would get up early with my Irish grandma. She'd sit next to her Aga coal stove and chat with me while she cooked. The stove was warm and her Irish jaunty. I'd fetch her coal. And she'd teach me limericks. I did much of the same with my Alabama grandma, who, Grandma Henderson, had vastly superior culinary skills. What she lacked in witty Irishisms, she made up for in little tasty morsels she'd give me from the things she was baking. The holidays were a treat unto themselves because everything took on greater proportions, greater significance. Christmas especially. The ladies would make goodies that would be the envy of Willy Wonka and decorate their houses in manners that proclaim the virgin birth of Christ, along with all of the Christmas traditions. My mom made our ever-changing homes. I was an army brat, and that meant moving a lot. Special. I would sit with anticipation as she made everything from turkey and cranberry sauce to fudge and shortbread. In the last week, I've been enjoying watching Lori transform our house into a Christmas wonderland. I help where I'm needed, but I mainly just enjoy watching this aspect of how the Lord made women. At this time of year, that female-specific gene manifests itself in all of its glory. And when you experience it, you're all the more grateful for it in a society gone mad, and where femininity, and I mean authentic, old-school femininity, is not only discouraged, it is actively suppressed. But it's hard to suppress that which is innate. And the Lord made women with a capacity to make a house a home in a way that men simply cannot. We might provide for the feast or carve the turkey, but it is the women in our lives, in mine anyway, who create the atmosphere in which everything we associate with the holidays takes place. I can hear the groans as some read this. Oh, how sexist, how old-fashioned. Say what you like, but those of us with any sense at all know that this is true. Moreover, we know that we are the grateful beneficiaries of these considerable gifts. So here's to all of you good, decent, hard-working women who unselfishly make our homes and our holidays so special. Thank you. That seems like a bold thing to say in 2023, to highlight women for their, as he calls it, innate ability to make a house a home. That's called homemaking. And I can say that I, as a full-time working person who has to be plugged in most of the time, who's raising 4 children, who's married to a public educator, as somebody who has volunteer work that I do outside of my radio job, and I do speaking engagements, and I'm on the go all the time, I still have a home to make. And I still love to make my home a home for my family. And my list of things that keep me busy or keep me occupied or get prioritized based on the responsibilities that I have on any given day don't stop me from attempting to do my very best to make a home. We have conversations right now about what is a woman, and the conversation is so far away from just being able to publicly celebrate a woman for doing something as basic but as needed as homemaking. We're actually moved the conversation so far away from that basic discussion into whether or not biological men should be able to compete in women's sports. We have degraded the value of women in our society so much that the things that make many women very proud to be women aren't even on the table for discussion. It makes men who don't want to walk into the world on a Tuesday afternoon and upset the whole apple cart a little more hesitant to look at the women in their life and thank them for doing the things that women do in our lives. We talked yesterday about how Gen Z and millennials are, A, not wanting to have children, and B, the ones who do have children are finding out that the village doesn't exist, where you hear so many people say it takes a village to raise a child. There is so much sadness that exists right now in our community. And a lot of times that sadness can be comforted with kindness, with nice words. And because we've surrendered so much of what we feel we're allowed to say, oftentimes I think we speak less kindness. So I hope that if you have found yourself being a little quieter about issues surrounding gender, celebrating women for what we all know, we know the answer to what is a woman. Everybody knows the answer to what is a woman. If there are people who don't fit into a specific caricature of what a woman is or what a man is, to say what a woman is biologically doesn't have to be exclusionary to anyone else. And if somebody doesn't feel as though they fit that binary, there's no room in a civilized society to respond to that with hate. But there's also a necessity for people who know what is right to speak up with love and kindness and firmness, to know what is true and to be unashamed of the truth. I hope that in 2024, plain speak, shrouded in kindness, really, really makes a comeback. Because reading through this Twitter thread by a man who I've never talked to before, but we'll be talking to here shortly, an author named Larry Taunton, and as I said, he's got a YouTube channel. I've been going through it a bit before we had him on here. Reading him talking about how the women in his life that do the things that women want to do. Nowhere in this thread are we talking about how Larry makes the women in his life do these things. That's the absurd part of where this conversation traditionally goes. Women take joy in doing these things, and extra joy when it is appreciated. And when Larry wrote this, I thought, wow, how bold of you, in honesty, how bold of you to just put this out there, and how much it comforted me to think about what I do for my family, but ultimately to think about what my mother has done for her family, what my grandmothers had done for their family, and to truly value them for the women that they are. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to speak with the author of that Twitter thread, which I retweeted earlier, but I'm going to retweet it once again right now so you can see it yourself and you can react to Larry Taunton's thread. And if you appreciate it as much as I did, let him know. We're going to speak with Jim Carafano at 1:25 and get the latest on what's going on in the Middle East and America's role in it. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. So minivans, sedans, JDMs, roll out. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. And with eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
As we near the end of this year, if you're looking for a new senior living community, check out Hampton Manor of Wentzville. Mark Cox here. This beautiful, brand new senior living community is located just a half-mile north of the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. It's a single-story community built by someone who has built resort-style living without the resort-style price. Take your visit right now. Tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it. Go online to wentzvilleassistedliving.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Join me, Mark Reardon, and the 97.1 FM Talk team for a night of purpose at the inaugural Give Back Trivia Night on January 5th at the Moolah Shrine Center. Be a beacon of hope for children. Reserve your table now at 971talk.com/events.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Christmas cookies, sugar. I sure do like those Christmas cookies, babe. The ones that look like Santa Claus, Christmas trees and bells and stars. I sure do like those Christmas cookies, babe. Now, Christmas cookies are a special treat.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Appreciate you being with us this afternoon. A reminder, we'll speak with Jim Carafano today at 1:25 p.m. to get an update on what is taking place in the Middle East. So stick around for that. We're also going to give away another Cardinals 12 Days of Christmas giveaway prize pack. It's a bobblehead pack. We'll tell you more about that a little bit later in the show, but keep it right here on the Annie Frey Show so that you can be one of the winners of our 12 Days of Christmas giveaway with the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's get to our next guest. I'm very excited to bring onto the show Larry Taunton. He's an author and columnist, and I came across his Twitter thread, and it took my mind, it took my heart, it took everything, and I just felt I had to talk to this man. Larry, thank you for coming on with us today.
Thank you, Annie. It's a pleasure to be with you.
So I just read the Twitter thread in the last segment for my audience so that they could hear you talking about how women make the holidays. And the thing that really kind of stopped me in my tracks, I mean, Twitter, first of all, it's a hell site. It's just a cesspool of
course.
anger. And when I came across your thread, it was such a bright spot. And I thought what you did was so bold, which is compliment women for being women.
Well, you're kind to say so, Annie. I actually wrote it with the expectation it would be deemed very controversial and I would be dragged across country. But I thought, there are these kinds of things that are not actually really controversial. I mean, it's just straight. I mean, this is just middle of the road, commentary for most of American history. And now we find ourselves in this bizarre culture that thinks it's okay to turn women into men and men into women and, the transing of children and all these bizarre things that are going on. And I was sitting what inspired that thread is I was sitting in front of my, fireplace at home. And I was watching my wife as she was transforming our house into, she's getting ready we just hosted my youngest son's wedding. And so we were hosting a reception after the wedding at our home. But this is what she does every year anyway, so, and she enjoys it. She likes doing it. And then she's giving me little samples of things that, that are coming, out of the kitchen. And I was just feeling quite nostalgic because I was mindful that, as I was a child, a little boy, as I mentioned in that thread, my mother's Canadian, but my father is from South Alabama, or L.A., as we say in the colloquial lower Alabama. But my Irish, literally off the boat from Ireland, Irish grandmother, she had this old coal stove, and it had these big thick lids that you put down over the top of the burner, and those were warm, and she would sit me on top of that. So much so that it had a little indention, from where I'd sat on it and other grandchildren over the years. And, would watch her just do her thing. And I would just sit there and, and chat with her. And she liked that. She liked for me to be in there with her while she's doing that. And I liked it. And same with my South Alabama grandmother, who, as I say in that thread, was the vastly superior cook. And I would sit in the kitchen with her and then with my own mother and now with my wife. And, the kitchen in America is kind of a gathering place.
Right.
And there's often a reason for that. And I know that there are some women who would say, well, he needs to do this and he needs to, however you choose to divide the duties. But I come from a fairly traditional home, and my own home is quite traditional in this regard. And part of our division of duties is I generally take care of everything outside the house. Today I had the pleasant task of meeting guys who came to pump my septic tank, and then dealing with an electrician today. My wife just kind of expects me to handle those things, and I do. And generally, things on the inside, for the most part, unless it's some kind of manual type thing, she does, and she loves doing them. And cooking is part of that. And I like kind of sitting there, and I have my whole life just enjoyed sitting in. With a woman, when she's cooking, and it's. I think I'm not the only man, who likes that. There's something very feminine in that. There's something very wonderful in that.
We're speaking with Larry Alex Taunton. He's an author and a columnist. You can follow him on Twitter at Larry Taunton, online at LarryAlexTaunton.com. The thing that strikes me so much about, your willingness to sit there and have these experiences and put them on Twitter, and even know that when you're putting them on Twitter, there are going to be people who do not like this, especially on Twitter. That's like where they're condensed in one place, maybe TikTok, but I'm not on TikTok. And what you decided to still put it out there. And it was so rare for me to consume something like that, even though everything you said in your thread is so blatantly obvious. And
of course. Anybody with any sense knows that.
Yes, the vast majority of people who would read your thread, if it were just in an article in, a national newspaper or something, they'd go, oh, well, that was lovely. Now, maybe on a Twitter thread, they just come angry because most people do on Twitter. But the thing that I'm 39 years old. I have 4 kids. My youngest is 2. My oldest is about to turn 14. And for somebody who's a millennial like me, I'm older millennial, but a millennial nonetheless, we still have those traditional experiences with our parents who are mostly boomers, our grandparents who are the greatest generation. And those are our traditions and our memories. But the culture that we're in right now, nobody talks about it. Nobody brings it up because you're just not supposed to. And I feel like in a world where we are supposed to scream at the top of the rooftops how we identify, that if you identify as a very traditional person, it's time you put that out there in the mix, in the noise for people to see it like you did.
I agree with that, Annie. And I also felt that it's important to say it because I don't think that what we're seeing in the culture in terms of the annihilation of the distinctions between men and women, which are real. I mean, they're biological distinctions. They're not just biological. They're just innate emotional, differences. We're oriented in very, very different ways. And the example that I often use is, I'm the father of four. When my children would, skin a knee or something like that, and we're outside, they didn't run to me. They would run to their mother. They would all, because they knew they were going to get empathy and something different. And dad's gonna after a minute say, "Okay, Junior, you're fine now. Run along." But my children, to this day, they call me, and they're all now married as of Saturday. They will call me when they're in trouble. That is to say, and my children don't get into trouble. I don't mean like legal trouble, but I mean where there's a need. So it's kind of like dad is, the fire extinguisher. So, one of my sons calls me the other day. He's a very successful attorney, and he's chatting. And I said, "Okay, you don't normally call me up to chat. So what? That's usually your mother. So what is it that you're needing?" And he chuckled and said, "Well, I was wondering."
Since you asked.
Yeah, exactly. And that tends to be the way most relationships. I was much closer in a lot of ways to my mother than I was to my father, but my father was who I went to when I needed a mountain moved. And I think that's just kind of the way it tends to be. But let me give you another little example that made me think of this and hence right the thread. Several years ago, I had a very serious traumatic accident. I broke my back in many places, and my neck, and shattered my jaw and the back of my skull, and all my ribs, and I was in ICU for a very long time. And as a Christmas tradition, I typically take my boys to a bowl game, to one of the college football bowl games. So I had bought them tickets that year, and I'm out of the hospital. I've been out of the hospital for maybe a month or so, but I am not well. But I decided I need to do this. So we're going to go up to Nashville and go see Notre Dame play. I think it was LSU at the Music City Bowl, but it was unseasonably cold. It was that wet southern, cold. So it's, let's say, 40 degrees outside, a light drizzle, and I am in a lot of pain. So I call a friend, she and her husband. They've been very dear friends of ours, and you might even call them, kind of mentors to me and my wife. They're in their early 70s. I've known them for a very long time. And I called them up. They live in Franklin, and I said, "Hey, how are you guys doing?" And I start dropping little hints that I am in. And she said, "Would you guys like to come over for dinner this evening? And, why don't you come and stay the night?" And I was hoping she would say this because, I'm not doing really well, and I don't want to drive all the way home. And when we get there, and I shared this thread with her, and I said, "This is one of the reasons I wrote this." We get there, and it's like she's been anticipating our coming. I mean, this was Donna Reed welcoming George Bailey home.
Yeah.
And we come into, it's after Christmas, and she pulls out a chicken parmesan, which she knows to be my favorite. And I didn't even know these existed anymore, but she had one of these hot water bottles that she had put into the bed that I would be sleeping in.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know there was such a thing like that anymore. I thought that was just something I'd seen in cartoons. And we come in, and she has a fire going, and there's her husband, who's such a gracious host. And they have a seat by the fireplace that they saved for me when I'm there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just basking in both the physical and emotional warmth of the moment. As she's sitting there, making this chicken parmesan and a cheesecake, and I'm thinking, and she pours me a hot chocolate. And anyway, the point being that she's so typical of many of the women of my generation that I grew up with, who were my aunts, my grandmothers, my mother. and now my wife, who are just such gracious hosts, but they also bring a certain je ne sais quoi. They got a little extra something that makes a house a home. And I feel like women like that aren't often appreciated at this time of year the way that they ought to be. Because I think, you mentioned that you're married, you have children. I'm sure your husband appreciates this. A lot of times we just don't think to say these things.
Sure.
We're enjoying them. We just don't say them. And I think it's important to say them, especially now in a culture where authentic femininity, traditional femininity, is not only being annihilated, but it's being actively and aggressively suppressed. If you're a contented wife and mother and you're happy, the left hates you.
Right.
They hate you, and I think it's all the more important that we celebrate you.
Yeah, that is 100% the sentiment that I got from your writing, and just the appreciation that you had for the things that your wife does, that the women in your family have done for you. And the thing that is so important is that you said it out loud, even though you knew that it was not going to be necessarily the easiest thing for some people to hear, and some people might get angry. I doubt anybody's anger on Twitter stole even an ounce of your joy of watching your wife do what she does in the household to get.
Well, read the comments. Read the comments of some of the lovely women who have responded to say, thank you for saying this. We so appreciate you saying this. And how many men responded by saying, amen, 100%.
Yes.
This is also true. This is true of my wife. This is true. And I love the women, who had responded and saying that, not just thank you, but saying, we love doing this.
Yes.
This is who we are. We love doing this. And see, I think the way it is, the culture is trying to define it now is to say that somebody like my wife or my grandmother, they were victims. They're deeply offended by the notion that serving their family and their friends is victimhood. They don't see it that way.
Yeah. I doubt you've ever delivered orders of how to decorate the house and when to have it done by.
Not once. And again, I'm happy to help, and I do help. I brought in the tree, and I get on the ladder and put the star up, and I the garland that's up high. I do that stuff, but here she was doing this, and then my daughters-in-law, who are all lovely people, and at the time my future daughter-in-law, but now is my daughter-in-law, as the last few days, they all come in and start chipping in and bringing dishes and doing all these things that I'm watching this over Thanksgiving, and I'm just thinking, wow. Yeah. Wow, and how lucky are all the men in this family that these lovely women do these things, and they do it beautifully, and they do it with grace. And that just to me is it's just a wonderful aspect of the way God made women.
Yeah, amen. Amen to all of it. I mean, the comfort and joy that you wrote about also brought comfort and joy to all those people who commented, and it certainly did to me as well. And Larry, I would love to have you back on. I've watched some of your stuff on YouTube, and am intrigued by some of the bold things you say, and if you will, we'll have you back on again sometime soon.
I'd be delighted to, Annie. You have a very Merry Christmas.
Yep, you as well. Merry Christmas, Larry. We appreciate you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Larry Taunton, author and columnist, host of Ideas Have Consequences, and on Twitter at Larry Taunton. I retweeted that thread, so if you want to go through and read it yourself, he's got photos in there, and they're beautiful photos that kind of go along with illustrating the story as he provided it. And I think it's wonderful. And I think these sound like basic conversations to talk about. I really appreciate my wife for decorating the house for Christmas. Yeah, I get that that's pretty basic, but it's so unheard of right now to celebrate something like that, because we're not supposed to put women in those boxes. But in the moving away from saying, this is something that women do that I like, we've now redefined to the point where it can't be defined what a woman actually is, and how do you celebrate her for that? So I thought he did a wonderful job, and I wanted to share it with you and hope it brought you the same joy that it brought me. When we come back, Wiggins America in studio, we'll get Ryan in here to talk a little bit about what stories are making him go, what? Ryan Wiggins in studio with us in a minute.
Put those little sprinkly things on top.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I sure do like those Christmas cookies, babe. The ones that look like Santa Claus, Christmas trees and bells and stars. I sure do like those Christmas cookies, babe. Now those sprinkly things just make things worse, cause it makes them taste better than they did at first, and they're absolutely impossible to resist. Some disappear to who knows where, but I make sure that I get my share, and those kids just stand there waiting for the ones I miss.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Christmas cookies, sugar. Sure do like those Christmas cookies.
I want to talk to you about Ruler Foods and how we, the Annie Frey Show, is going to be broadcasting live at the Ruler Foods in St. Charles on December 13th. It's a Wednesday. So is that a week from tomorrow? Yeah, that's a week from tomorrow. So put it on your calendar and make sure that you are there to join us and put a canned good or two in the boxes to help support a very, very important cause. We had such a wonderful experience last year at the same location in St. Charles. We want to make sure that we do as much as we did last year, if not even more. So you can join us at the Ruler Foods in St. Charles, Missouri on Wednesday, December 13th, and we're going to be collecting goods for the St. Louis Area Food Bank. Now, if you are looking for something to save for yourself, you're trying to save on your grocery bill, or if you want to save on the items that you're going to donate to the food bank, you can go to Ruler Foods and you can shop for $4 for $5 deals on Kroger chips, on Kroger broth or Campbell's cream of soup, Kroger 90-second rice or deluxe mac and cheese, Kroger bagels and Kroger cream cheese. They also have great low prices that are locked in through January 3rd on a whole bunch of different goods. You can find all the details online and the Ruler Foods closest to you by going to rulerfoods.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The vote is in. STL Today has certified the result. Onderlaw has been voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
I do appreciate all the referrals that we receive daily. It is phenomenal. I've said it. I can't say it enough how much I do appreciate the referrals. With that being said, if you do refer me, you're in great hands. I will not sell homeowners that work hard for their money, just like myself, crap that they do not need. But if you want good quality, man, you can't even say cheap anymore. I don't think I can even say cheap by you can't even go by price. Okay, that's another commercial. Call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Remember, it's the only number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
At Odyssey, we believe in casting a wide net to create a diverse and inclusive workforce, as we value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be directly notified of our open positions. Again, that's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for our listeners, we invite you to visit odysseyinc.com/careers. There, you'll find an online listing of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Check off your shopping list with Cardinals Baseball. 5 and 10 game packs are on sale now and feature 2024's highest demand games and promotional giveaways. Choose from the opening day pack, bobblehead pack, Cubs pack, and more. New for 2024, check out the 10 game for the Lou pack, which includes lots of new STL themed promos. Give the gift that lasts all season, all baseball season. Cardinals ticket packs start at just $55 and are on sale now at cardinals.com/holiday.
Join the Cardinals in 2024 with season tickets and get the best seats at Busch Stadium. There's a plan for every fan. Choose from full, half, or the popular 27-game plans. Season ticket holders get their own dedicated Cardinals representative, plus access to postseason tickets, opening day, a membership to the Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum, and so much more. For information, go to cardinals.com/season or call the Cardinals today at 314-345-9000.
This is Jordan Walker. I'll see you in 2024.
Well, in light of that, I am happy to tell you that today is day 2 of the Annie Frey Show 12 Days of Cardinals giveaways. Today it'll be a 5-game pack that features bobblehead promotions nights. So that's a total of 10 tickets you'd win if you win today. That'll be in the 2 o'clock hour, so stick around. We'll let you know when to call. You'll hear the crack of the bat. We'll give you the phone number and all that in the 2 o'clock hour. Right now, it's 12:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Conservatives care, supporting SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Join us by attending the Give Back Trivia Night on January 5th, hosted by Mark Reardon, or donate at 971talk.com/events.
Am I dreaming or stupid?
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Baby, no one needs to know right now.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
I met a tall, dark, and handsome man, and I've been busy making big plans, but no one needs to know right now.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! What I have here for you is a bunch of stories that are going to make you go, what? Just like that. The first one
What
is
just
going to...
happened?
Well, you heard the end of that. The first one is...
It's very dramatic.
Yeah. Taking selfies is now considered a public health problem and requires safety messaging, say
See,
researchers.
I think I agree with the first half of that.
But it doesn't require the messaging. This is a review by the...
Who's going to read the message if they're too busy reading or looking at themselves in a camera?
Well, if it's on their phone, maybe they will read it.
It's going to pop up?
Yeah, it's going to be a pop-up. Review by the University of New South Wales concluded that taking selfies could actually pose a public health problem, referencing data from multiple peer-reviewed studies in both U.S. and Australia since 2011. The review was published saying that selfie-related deaths are much higher than anybody would have thought. Now, it doesn't give the full results. It does just give you the mean age of reported victims.
What's happening?
So they're just saying that they're seeing the numbers rise. They didn't say what the numbers were.
Numbers
of deaths while people were taking selfies.
That's a very broad.
Yeah,
like
you
what
could be
happened?
anywhere.
Are you taking a selfie at the Grand Canyon and you fall in? Are you taking selfies while you're driving?
Yeah, they focused more on the natural disaster ones, I guess, the ones where you're out in a nice place and you're trying to get a nice view of yourself, not necessarily in the car, but trying to get a pretty photo of yourself. And they said the average age of those doing that who died, 22 years old, and mostly female. So,
what are we supposed to say?
You're supposed to say
that's bad.
You're supposed to say, "Oh man, Ryan, that's so interesting. I guess we probably should have public messaging to 22-year-old women that
it's not going to stop them at all."
No.
It's like a Surgeon General's
Like,
warning.
where does the public messaging happen?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
Like, what are you to say in this messaging?
They are
Hey,
so distracted that they're dying because they're trying to get a photo of themselves, and the government is like, maybe we should put together a PSA.
Yeah. They did say it's mostly aquatic deaths from falling from heights into water.
It's so sad.
It is sad. And what are you supposed to say about it? You're supposed to say,
What?
What? That's actually happening. Here's another one. Woman arrested for shoplifting during a shop with a cop event. So there was a 62-year-old woman. She was at a Walmart in Michigan, and she decided, you know what, this is a great time for me to shoplift. Unfortunately for her, and maybe she even knew this, there were 75 police officers in the store at the time shopping with children. This was an outreach where they have area children come, they shop with a police officer for their family. 75 officers in the store. She decided, you know what, now's the time for me to take $727 worth of merchandise. And she was, of course, caught very, very quickly. And they did it. They followed her out to her vehicle. I guess a couple of them were like, this woman's obviously stealing. So they just walked out to her car with her.
When you first read that headline, I was thinking in my head that this woman went to an event with a cop to shop with a cop.
No.
And thought, you know what, I'm going to snag this stuff right here.
Not quite. Not quite. But if you see, I mean, it's not as if they were undercover. These are cops walking around with children in a Walmart, tons of them. And then she decides, yeah, I think I'm going to take a bunch of goods. She was not in San Francisco because under $1,000 there, she probably would have been let off scot-free.
Where was it?
Michigan.
What?
Next report is that 6.9 million people have been affected in a 23andMe data breach. They suffered this data breach, and almost 7 million people's personal information, people who use the platform, opted into its DNA relatives feature. The hack has taken all this data from them, and who knows why they've gotten it, what they're going to do with it. Have you guys ever done one of these things before?
No.
I did, and I think it was 23andMe, but I never got the results. I sent off my swab, and because I got it as a Christmas gift.
Did you get a discount at Big Lots?
I saw an ad on Facebook.
I remember swabbing my cheek. This was during 2021. I think we were still working at home. And I sent the thing off, and I never got the thing back. So I emailed them, and they said they never got it. So I don't know if it got lost in the mail.
They never got it.
Or if they got it and never did anything with it. And then I stopped pursuing it because I forgot about it.
Why did you do it in the first place?
Well, I got it as a Christmas gift. And so
Was it from 23andMe? It was from 24andMe.
It was from not a hacker. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's probably safe then. So I did it.
O and not was a 0.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
The E was a
notahacker.com. Last story. Wasabi is linked to really substantial boost in memory, which suggests that, Annie, you need to start eating more sushi. That's the only conclusion I can draw.
Completely open to everybody's suggestions.
From
no problem listening to your suggestions at all. Suggest away.
So
anything else?
I think probably you want to eat some more eel, and the eel barbecue sauce on that is very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Other types of sushi are fine too, but do at some point include some wasabi with that sushi meal that you will
Perhaps some
have.
fresh crab.
That's what you think?
That is all. That's not just what I think.
I'll take it under a very brief consideration.
This study suggests that wasabi is linked to substantial boosts in memory.
Is sushi the only place you can have wasabi?
I guess you could just squeeze wasabi into your mouth if you really wanted to, but
those are the only two options.
that's
huh?
it.
Okay.
Out of a tube.
No. But thank you for
You're welcome.
caring for me.
You're welcome.
In that capacity.
Well, I'm just looking out for you. That's all this segment is.
That's exactly right. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Pajamagram's famous naturally nude pajamas are back. A very luxurious Christmas gift for her, one that'll make you a holiday hero. This year, Pajamagram has upped the ante. How about a free, barely there, naturally nude nightie? How about $75 of savings? How about gift packaging options and quick delivery? That's an effortless 2-in-1 deluxe gift that you both are guaranteed to love. Soft and silky with a barely there feel, curve caressing with a fit that's better than lingerie. Best selling for a reason. Pajamagram's naturally nude pajamas and nightie are designed to make her feel amazing and drive you wild. Now is the time to win Christmas. Now is the time to go get your special someone naturally nude from Pajamagram. But hurry, this gift sells out every year. Shop now while it lasts. Head to pajamagram.com for naturally nude pajamas and save $75 on a free naturally nude nightie.
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues. And now the IRS letters are coming. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Story Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Story Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm. Call today at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Surprise! Surprise! You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Ukraine's president makes his case. Lisa Brady, Fox News. He's set to have a private virtual meeting with U.S. senators after a House address earlier appealing for more U.S. aid. But the current proposal is caught up in Republican demands for change on immigration.
President Biden is prepared to have discussions over border and immigration policy, Deputy Press Secretary Olivia Dalton says.
What we cannot do is delay on funding our critical national security needs, which, by the way, includes a request from the president to fund border security and stem the flow of fentanyl into the country.
Republicans in the House and Senate say stronger enforcement in immigration laws must be a part of the $106 billion supplemental spending bill for Ukraine and Israel aid. Without new funding, military assistance for Ukraine will dry up at the end of the year.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Secretary of State Antony Blinken announcing U.S. travel bans on extremist Jewish settlers accused of attacking Palestinians in the West Bank.
As Secretary Blinken made clear to leaders of the government of Israel last week during his visit to the region, they need to do more to stop extremist violence against Palestinians and hold those responsible for it accountable.
State Department spokesman Matthew Miller calling on both Israeli and Palestinian leaders to interrupt increasing violence against civilians. The travel restriction comes just a month after Israel was allowed into a waiver program that allows entry into the U.S. without a visa. Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville just confirming he's ending a blockade on hundreds of military promotions. It was a protest over a Pentagon abortion policy.
I still got a hold on, I think, 11 four-star generals. Everybody else is completely released from me. Now, somebody else might. I think there's a few other people got holds on one or two or three people.
Tuberville telling reporters he has no regrets about his tactics. The Senate had already worked around the blockade to approve some high-level appointments, including the new Joint Chiefs chair. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, you're up next.
Ugh, my throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Hey, St. Louis, brace yourself for the ultimate holiday deal with Consumer Cellular. Snag an incredible 50% off the Iris Flip when you buy before December 17th, making it only $34.50. The Iris Flip is all the phone and camera you need with a user-friendly design, the perfect flip phone companion. Plus, you'll get nationwide coverage and always free activation. Don't miss out. Head to one of our 4 retail locations in your area and seize this deal this holiday season.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Windy and chilly on this Tuesday afternoon. Temperatures are now starting to drop, and we'll be taking a slow drop through the 40s this afternoon. A bit of a changeable sky. Slow clearing tonight, but it's cold down to 28 degrees. Wednesday, sunny and chilly, 48. We've got a couple of warm days, especially the early afternoon anyway. Thursday and Friday, low 60s. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Brian Kilmeade has done it again. Teddy and Booker T, how 2 Americans blazed a path for racial equality, highlights a key moment in American history. You can get a personalized copy of Teddy and Booker T at 971talk.com.
Hey, have you finished your holiday shopping yet?
No, I just cannot find anything for my sister-in-law. She's so picky, and I don't want to give her a gift card again.
Doesn't she have a big Euro trip planned for next year? What about getting her a subscription to Rosetta Stone? I got one a month ago, and I've learned so much already.
That's a great idea. Why did you pick Rosetta Stone?
The app has this great feature that tells me how well I'm speaking each word compared to native speakers. I've never gotten feedback like this from any other app before. Plus, it's fun and has tons of bonus content to teach you about the culture, so she can really feel ready for her trip.
That sounds perfect. Is the monthly subscription expensive?
They actually sell a lifetime subscription, so she'll get access to all 25 of their languages forever, and it's 50% off right now.
You are a genius. Thank you.
Of course. Visit rosettastone.com/radio. Don't forget the subscription is 50% off right now, so hurry and get that deal.
I'm a pilot, martial artist, mountain biker, hiker. The thing that brings me down is my feet. When my wife finally talked me into going into the Good Feet store, the salesperson there immediately started investing himself in my problem. And now that I wear the inserts all the time, I'm not feeling the pain. They're comfortable to have in, and it's uncomfortable not to feel them in my shoes because I know the positive effect they've had. This is not something that you could solve online. There's got to be somebody there that can help you find that fit. You put in the arch supports and your day becomes better and the clouds go away and it's a good life. Good Feet has saved the day.
Call now 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway in Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeetstlouis.com. Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Enjoy comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief. And Good Feet arch supports are proudly made in the USA.
High visibility markers identify the approximate location and provide emergency contact information for some natural gas pipelines. Always call 811 3 days before you dig. For more safety tips and information, visit mosafegas.com. This message is from Mango.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows. TSO, Enterprise Center, December 17th. Tim McGraw, Enterprise Center, March 22nd. Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Chicago, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, July 10th. And Sammy Hagar, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, August 31st.
For tickets and info, hit up livenation.com.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews, and if invasive plants and trees have overtaken your pasture, roads, trails, or dams, then you need Missouri Brush Control. Their special forestry mulching equipment helps landowners reclaim their property. Enjoy your land like you've always dreamed of. To learn more, visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Interesting first hour. We discussed a thread that I saw on Twitter from Larry Taunton, and he was just really championing women for what they do to make the holidays. And I thought, how risky of him to come out and say that he appreciates women for things that they do, just basically in general. But I found it to be very refreshing on Twitter, and the conversation was even better. So go check that out on the podcast, the Annie Frey Show podcast, if you missed it. We're going to give away another Cardinals 12 Days of Christmas ticket pack. It's a bobblehead pack in the 2 o'clock hour. So stick around and make sure that we haven't determined which caller you're going to be, but I'll tell you right now that the number, you write this down so that when you do hear the sounder, you're ready to go. 314-241-9797. Sometime in the 2 o'clock hour, we're going to give away today's 12 Days of Christmas Cardinals giveaway. Ryan, were you able to hear that conversation with Larry?
I heard the whole thing.
What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's silly that these things are controversial, and I think that it is still important to have those conversations because so many people agree and just don't want to say so. These are conversations about, what it means to be a woman, kind of the woman's place in the world right now or in society. And I don't know why we've become so afraid to have those conversations, especially when they are just so basic and normal. But I'm glad that we are.
What about women? But what about the part that he wrote about where he was talking about women making the holiday? Like, do you relate to that, the way he talked about the women in his life, his grandma, his grandparents, his grandma specifically, his wife, his mom?
I do, especially in my house. My wife is just big on as much decoration as possible, and she's the one who carries the traditions a little bit more. She wants to make sure that if we're putting up the Christmas tree, we're listening to this record, that kind of stuff. And then she also puts up almost all the other Christmas decoration and cooks a lot of food and stuff. In my family growing up, though, my dad is Christmas crazy. So he kind of breaks that mold a little bit. He's the one that kind of leads on Christmas, I would say, growing up.
What about you, Brad?
Well, it was kind of funny that he was talking about that because I was sitting there thinking about that last night. I was literally thinking about that last night, watching my wife as she was putting lights on the Christmas tree and helping wherever she asked me to. But watching her decorate and do stuff like that.
You're never like, no, honey, we're going to do it this way.
Yeah, absolutely not. And it was funny, too, because he said that him and his wife divvy up the chores from inside and outside, and that's exactly how we do it. So, like, the outside Christmas decorations kind of fall under my responsibility. But it's more than just Christmas decorations that I notice in my wife being a homemaker. Like, whenever I get home from work, she's standing at the door in the garage. Whenever the garage door goes up, she's usually got the door open, and my dog's sitting there, and she's standing there because they can hear my truck coming.
That sounds awesome.
That's not.
And she
my
makes
husband
dinner.
does the same thing. He's like, take this child.
Stand there
in
with-
the summer, at least.
with the baby.
Yeah. Well, just arms straight out.
Yeah.
Baby's like, wah! Mom! He goes have a cigarette. Jared doesn't smoke cigarettes.
But she also
not until then
makes dinner or that sort of thing. And I know it's traditional, but it's stuff that I all appreciate about her, and I'm glad that she does that because my life wouldn't be as good as it is without her doing those things.
Are there any non-traditional roles that you have in your household, in the Wiggins household?
Oh yeah. The main one being that I can't fix anything.
Can
and
she,
I'm not talking about food. I mean, like fixing a bench.
Yeah, but can she?
Oh, yeah. And she's gotten good at it because I'm so bad at it. So it's not that she naturally
Brian,
loves doing that. It's that I'm that bad at it.
Are you bad at it, or are you unwilling to be good at it?
No. I do try because I feel awful that I am so bad at it.
Yeah.
And every time it results in me, even doing outside work, I'm like, oh, I got a chainsaw. Now I'm going to really get to work on some of these branches.
Have you ever operated a chainsaw?
No.
Right,
That's really not where you go if you're not good at those things.
Yeah.
But every time one of those projects happens, something doesn't work. Usually it's in the machinery or in my hands. And I walk away going, this is why I don't even try. And she waits for that moment to go, all right.
Has your wife operated a chainsaw?
I don't know. She lets me try things, and then she comes along and sort of sweeps them up. So I don't remember about the chainsaw in particular, but she just got 2 bookcases for Christmas that she ordered for herself that she wants to put up in the bedroom because we're just running out of space for books. Kids just read like crazy. There's books everywhere. So instead of even ask me to help her with that, which they were pretty heavy, she asked my 6-year-old first. Now, River is very mechanically minded. I don't know where he gets it, but he's
Maybe
also...
it's just out of necessity.
I'm possible. But he's also 6.
Yeah.
So being upstaged by somebody who's mechanically minded, I'm fine with. By my 6-year-old son, who has literally a little Tonka's tool belt.
Has he emasculated you?
Yes.
Does he know that?
No.
Okay. Well, don't tell him.
I will tell him. He'll figure it out actually pretty soon. He may have already.
Are there any roles that are traditionally the maternal side of the equation that you assume, or does she just pick up your slack?
More. Yeah, I do. I can't do everything that a man's supposed to do, and I can't do anything a woman's supposed to do. So she does about 150%.
How does it feel? The turnabout is fair play. Like in the world right now, I'm reading an article on Fox News. Trans cyclist in Illinois takes first and second place in women's cycling championship, where men are coming and taking place of all the women. In your house, women are taking place of the men. and
I don't love
succeeding.
it, but I am looking for opportunities where I might be able to come in first in a cycling competition. So
Yeah.
I'm open
Pretty
to that.
sure that Illinois is where it's at right now. Although there are some very accomplished men participating in women's.
Yeah, and cycling seems like a little much. I think I'm going to shoot a little lower.
It's
Washers tournament or something.
Fox News says a pair of transgender women, that's men transitioned to women, won gold and silver in a female cycle race in Illinois over the weekend. And it's not the first time that they have finished ahead of biological women. Tessa Johnson and Evelyn Williamson, who were both born male, beat out the opposition at the Illinois State Cyclocross Championships on Saturday, and the news sparked anger from female sports advocates and political commentators. Johnson and Williamson stood on the podium as first and second place winners, respectively, in the women's single speed category, while Kristen Chalmers, a biological woman, was relegated to the third spot. Johnson also took place in the women's category race, earning $150 in prize money.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Money in that person's pocket. Brad, do you have roles in your house that are reversed at all, that she does, that are traditionally male-dominated roles, or vice versa?
Oh, man, I'm trying to think. She likes to grill. So whenever she cooks, she likes to grill. I mean, I like to grill, too.
Do you know how to grill?
Oh, yeah.
Who's more likely to do it?
She is.
That's probably a switch.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I mean, I could make food happen on a grill, but I have no interest in learning how, because Jared loves it and he's very good at it, and I see no purpose. He cooks. He does all the cooking. The kids will sometimes like, "Can Mom cook dinner tonight?" because they want to eat cereal.
Yeah.
It's not great.
No,
Not
I
very
understand
flattering.
that. My kids are the same way, because they'll request a dad meal, because dad's usually probably going to go buy pancakes somewhere.
Or get like Papa John's or Jack's Pizza.
Yep.
I don't cook anything. I actually can cook, and I used to be really good at cooking. I liked to cook when I was younger, but Jared just likes it so much and enjoys it and makes really, really delicious meals that he doesn't mind doing it all. And if I were to be like, I want to cook, he would miss cooking. But he doesn't bake anything. And he really, it's amazing how definitively he draws that line and won't cross over, because I bake. He likes it when I bake. It's kind of like the George Strait Christmas cookie song a bit. I manage the money in the house. I'm trying to think of other things that are kind of switched up. He will do more laundry than I will do. But with 6 people in the household, laundry is just,
yeah.
It's the most defeating thing in my life. Laundry. I want, if nudist was an option, I would consider it for a moment. Not for long, but not having to do laundry would dramatically change our lifestyle. How bad is it in your house?
Well, I suggested that we leave and join a nudist colony.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
We're
And
good.
she said maybe. Because it's that bad. No, it's actually, I think the hardest part, you probably deal with this like crazy with your 3 girls, is figuring out what belongs to who. Because when the sizes are close, because we got 2 boys that are 3 years apart, and we still sometimes.
We just do
how
all
do
the
we even
laundry.
figure this out?
There's a Charlie load, there's a Jensen load. There's
Oh,
an
okay.
Evelyn- like it just goes in and comes out, and it's all theirs.
Ours is things from the bathroom floor load. But it's tough to stay ahead on that. It's dishes are another one. I think there's a middle ground that both Katie and I have had to find between, I just don't even care. I'm going to, put lunch meat on a plate and that's going to be dinner for me. Like very low end to, okay, I need to actually prepare something for the kids. I've gotten better at that. She's the other way, where she has this high end meal in mind and she wants to go all out and make something amazing. And we never have time for that. So she has to dial it back to this kind of middle ground meal that we both had to find with kids that we didn't have before kids.
Have either of you seen the Daily Wire movie Lady Ballers?
Not yet.
No.
I've seen it twice.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Good?
It's fantastic.
Is it? Is
It's
it
fantastic.
funny?
Yes.
Is it funny beyond the premise? Like, is it?
It's
makes you laugh?
incredibly smart.
Okay.
I laughed out loud both times I watched it, multiple times. Like, laughed out loud. I enjoyed watching it.
I can't wait. You have to subscribe to get it right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's like $7. And
Oh,
if you're gonna
okay.
if you're gonna subscribe and then you go to the Daily Wire and you'll see Lady Ballers. And for people who don't know what Lady Ballers is, it's a movie that was made by the Daily Wire production entity. Jeremy Boring and Ben Shapiro, as I understand it, are basically co-owners of the Daily Wire. And they decided that they wanted to move into production and they want to make, Ryan, you and I have talked about this before, that like when people make Christian movies, you're like, you accept a lot of lesser quality because you really enjoy and appreciate the message.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same thing in my mind as Hallmark movies, which I don't understand you people at all. Oh my gosh. I'm talking specifically to my mother. My 7-year-old, if I say you're going over to grandma's house and we're talking about my mom, my 7-year-old will get the most gleeful smile on her face and say, "Can we watch Hallmark movies?" And I'm like, yes, because they're babysitting you and I am gone.
Mm-hmm.
You are a breed of people of which I am not. So good on. It's not like Hallmark doesn't need me to enjoy their content for it to be successful. They have a formula, like one formula that works. My dad's always, because he sits there and watches them with my mom because he has to.
Because he's a saint?
Yeah, because he's great like that. He sits there, and so we'll be out and about doing stuff. He's like, if there was a Hallmark movie, people would start singing right now. If there was a Hallmark movie, people would be gathering around that tree over there.
The first snowflake would fall right now.
And my dad complains about the Hallmark snow. He's so grouchy about it, but I think he's seen every single one of them, and I'm not so sure that he hates them.
You know what? You might be onto something here.
I think maybe he's projecting a little.
Yeah. Look, I don't like those movies, but they do something specific to you. They make you feel warm. That's the whole point of them.
So maybe we're identifying the problem here, which is that there's not a lot out there that does that.
I think you're right.
And Hallmark is like, this is a very, very shallow opportunity that nobody else is swimming in. We don't have to go that deep.
Yeah, and you don't have to, spend a lot on those movies either. That's what's so nice about them, for Hallmark's sake, is that they're like, look, just plug in the formula put a different guy in.
I thought Daily Wire, what they've committed to doing is they want to create quality that is as good as anything else that is out there. Now, there are a lot of people who want that. Achieving it is a different is a different animal. The quality of the film, the quality of the story, of the writing is, in my opinion, an A.
Wow.
Some of the acting, I would say, like basically you watch those things and you ask yourself, are you distracted by the fact that these aren't Oscar-winning actors? And the first time I watched it, I couldn't believe how many people were in there that are like Ben Shapiro's in it. Matt Walsh, I watched it the second time purposely to watch Matt Walsh again. And I will watch it again to see Matt Walsh in it. And we might get him on the show. Let's get him on the show. He's been with us before.
I kid you not. This morning, Brad and I were talking about Lady Ballers. Have you seen Lady Ballers? And I said, honestly, I just want to see the movie to see the Matt Walsh scenes.
When you were talking about low rent actors, people who aren't like really actors, but they are acting, because some people might have a talent for that, but they're not pursuing it. Matt Walsh is fantastic. He is 100% believable in the role. Ben Shapiro has like 6 lines, and every word of them are perfect. Jeremy Boring, who is the one of the owners of Daily Wire, is the lead, and he is the story. If he doesn't pull it off, it doesn't work. Yeah. He pulls it off. There's a little girl in it that's his daughter. She is fantastic. And the story, when you're watching it, now, if you're somebody who is diametrically politically opposed, essentially I can say it this way, and whether you like it or not, you're going to understand what I'm saying. If you're super woke, you're going to be vomiting on yourself, and you're not going to be able to turn it off, because that's when you're happiest. You're just sitting there hating and oozing it out of your pores. But you'll probably watch the whole thing, because it is punch after punch after punch of medicine for my soul. right now. And I'm telling you this as somebody who was a female athlete for sports through my senior year of varsity. I've been connected to girls' sports essentially every year of my life since then. And what this movie did for my soul and the girls that I am trying to coach and the girls that I am trying to raise, my daughters right now, who are talented, specifically my 11-year-old is a very talented athlete who needs to learn how to compete. She's got a lot to learn, but she has the skills to compete. What is taking place in culture right now is going to take away her opportunity to do what she could do before lunacy took over. And honestly, Lady Ballers gives me hope that if it is successful, that maybe the good guys will win in the end.
I'm glad to hear you say it's good because I was hoping for best acceptable. I've heard people in the industry say before, it's a miracle if you make something that's good because it's that hard.
Yes.
It's just hard. It's art. There's no formula for making things amazing. Even those who spend a lot of money, you've watched them, money spent out the you-know-what, and the movie still stinks.
Right.
So the fact that they were able
Disney.
to pull off a great or at least really good film, I'm so happy that exists.
If you, I mean, it's not going to be for everybody, but what movie is ever made for everybody?
Right.
Like if you're taking a stance and telling a story that every single person likes, then you're probably not saying enough in the film that you're making. I recommend it. And I'll see if we can get somebody on from the Daily Wire to talk about it. Let's talk to Jim Carafano when we come back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
STS Armory, located in Pontoon Beach, Illinois, where I go to get firearms, ammo, accessories. I've purchased a safe for a firearm from STS Armory. When I have had any conversations with Katie and Jesse Johnson, who are the owners, who when you go to STS Armory in Pontoon Beach, you're going to meet Katie and or Jesse, and their kids are there, and they've got a great staff. It is a very family-oriented and welcoming shop in Pontoon Beach. They are experts in the firearm field. They are experts in the Illinois gun owner and operator field when it comes to getting your FOID card. I'm telling you that when I've talked to Katie and Jesse Johnson, I'm not going to name the other locations' names, but when people come into other stores that do sell firearms and they need specific help when it comes to getting a FOID card or maybe an issue you've had with your CCL, if there is an issue that you're having with the state of Illinois or you've got questions, a lot of times those big stores, they say you need to go to STS. STS Armory is where the other stores recommend people go to get that personalized service. And there's a reason for that because they care. They are deeply connected to the people who they service throughout the Illinois region, my family included. They have answers for you. And if they don't have the answer for you, they'll help you find the answer to your question. If you're looking for a firearm purchase, if you're looking for gift cards this holiday season for potentially a CCL class that could be taken at a later time, go to STS Armory and ask them how they can help you. Find them online at sts-armory.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsl.honorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Tuesday afternoon with the Iowa caucuses just a little more than a month away. We'll head up to Des Moines and speak with our friend Joel Curtinitis to get the very latest.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
On Ukraine, as you've all seen earlier today, OMB Director Shalonda Young sent a letter to congressional leaders, which Karine was just referencing, explaining that without congressional action, the administration will run out of resources by the end of the year to procure more weapons and equipment for Ukraine and to provide equipment from U.S. military stocks without impacting our own military readiness.
So Jake Sullivan is out there talking about how we need to make sure that we are still continuing to provide weapons for Ukraine and that the administration is close to running out of resources without that congressional action. And I think a lot of people are watching what monies are being shipped to Ukraine, and they've had questions for a very long time. But when Jake Sullivan says you need to do this, you need to get this done, you look to somebody in Congress like Congressman Byron Donalds, and he has something to say.
Jake Sullivan is wrong, but why would we be surprised? He is the advisor to Joe Biden, who's been wrong at every single point throughout the Ukrainian conflict, throughout what happened in Afghanistan, and of course what's happening now with our greatest ally in the region in Israel. He is wrong, but I have another message for Jake Sullivan in the White House. Secure the southern border. That's it. If you do that, then there's people in Congress who will be willing to listen and to talk to. But before that's done, there's nothing to talk about.
When Congressman Donalds there talks about the need to secure the border, that is the thing that this Congress has been pushing the hardest for, is an actual securing of our southern border. And anything that the left wants, that the Biden administration wants. Now, remember, in the House of Representatives, the House, the greatest power that they have is the power of the purse. They decide where monies are to be spent. And if they want to defund something, they can do it. And if you defund Ukraine, if you defund the southern border, if you choose to fund the southern border, all of these things, that's where the House has its greatest power and responsibility. You might also connect the dots and understand easily that that's the only place that the Republicans have a majority. So that power of the purse is the power that the Republicans hold to have any sort of influence in Washington, D.C. While we acknowledge on the right side of the aisle that the southern border absolutely needs to be overhauled. And, you know, I remember in the conversations about what to do on the southern border when I visited McAllen, Texas earlier this summer, some people said, you know, we don't need to close the border because the commerce that takes place there is really important to the success of that region in our country. There are a lot of people who come across the southern border to work in Texas or wherever that border might be, and then they return back to their homes. And you don't close the border. And it seems semantical, and I suppose that it's kind of stuck in my head that they made that point. I think that the proper term is to secure the border, because the border right now is absolutely not secure. The amount of people who are flooding into in the tens of thousands on weekends. Where are they going? What are they doing? How are they surviving? What do we do with them when they're here? Let's listen to Congressman
Mr. Blakeman, you are aware that every single migrant who has come through the New York City, the Roosevelt Hotel, has been vetted at the border, are you not?
They have not, sir.
Yes, they have. The ones who have gone through official channels through the city,
may I answer your question?
have been vetted at the border. I mean, that's a fact.
You asked me a question.
I'm asking if you know or not.
Would you like the answer?
Let me ask you another question. Are you aware?
You're gonna let me ask?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to let you because you already answered it.
What do we know about the people who are coming here? How are we tracking them? What responsibility do American taxpayers have to those individuals when they come here? How many of them are showing up for their court dates? If they don't show up for their court dates, how do we find them? Do we even try? These questions continue to mount and frustrate many, many Americans across the country. Do we have the sound from the guy in Chicago?
The
people in Chicago who were
angry?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yesterday's folder.
Yesterday's folder? Okay, I'm going to pull that up. Because this is pretty wild. In Chicago, which you will understand, Chicago is where the DNC is going to have their convention next year. So they're going to crown the nominee in Chicago, and that could be a wild, wild endeavor. The people in Chicago are very frustrated with the way the new mayor, Brandon Johnson, is handling things.
They're part of the same bird.
That's right. With two wings.
So it doesn't matter anymore which party we go with. But I'll tell you this, I'd rather deal with the snake that's outfitting himself of the Republican Party than the snake that's covered up in the Democratic Party.
That's right.
We're not going to continue to stand for this. We're not going to continue to allow our state representatives, our congressmen, our aldermen, and our mayor to let us know that we don't matter. Just like you're going to show us that we're going to matter, we're going to show you. It's going to be a great day in the city of Chicago when a Democratic convention comes here, and then they found out in March that a lot of black voters took Republican ballots.
Man, if that's not a threat, I don't know what is. To the Democrats in Chicago? Are you kidding me? This is where the DNC has decided its safest haven to crown a new nominee for the Democrat Party, or to once again throw the weight of the Democratic Party behind incumbent Joe Biden. There was a man who spoke who it was wild to hear, because he's like, now's the time for the Republican Party to come talk to us. And he's ready to talk to Trump. He's ready to talk to Republicans. He's ready to talk to anybody who will listen to them, because they know that the Democratic Party isn't listening to them. And his rant and his rave is about the idea that all of these tax dollars in the city of Chicago are going to prop up these migrants that are coming there. And there are people in Chicago, the ones that are paying the taxes, who are being left in the dust. And for what? The truth of the matter is, eventually you run out of other people's money. And the prioritization of the Democrats, specifically in Chicago, as you can hear from these angry Chicago residents, the proof of the scenario that they are facing right now is that they are politically prioritizing people over those who are actually funding the taxed coffers of the city of Chicago, of the state of Illinois, and of this country. There are political props that exist all throughout this country right now that are being let in by the Democratic Party. They're using these actual human beings for their own political benefit so that they can try to score in the next election. Well, I got to tell you what, if the residents are showing up and demanding that as taxpayers themselves, that they are seen and heard, and that they understand unequivocally that the Democratic Party that they've shown up for in the past are not interested whatsoever. They're not interested in listening to what these voters have to say. They're saying, what do the Republicans have to offer? It's a very, very compelling scenario that coming out of Chicago, black individuals in Chicago, I think it was Jesse Waters last night said maybe Jussie Smollett was onto something. Maybe Chicago is MAGA country. I don't think that the Democratic Party can overlook what is being amplified in that city with the very unfortunate scenario that Chicago taxpayers are finding themselves in. And they're going to have to step up to it. They're going to have to answer the call. I've seen articles and conversations about the fact that J.B. Pritzker is getting very frustrated with Mayor Johnson, Brandon Johnson there, because he's making Pritzker look bad. And the article, which I'm sorry to defile your ears with these words, but the article talked about how it was hurting his presidential ambitions. I'm like, well, that man is not short of ambition. That is for sure. Something is going to have to give here. And if the Republicans don't show up to answer the call and listen to what these residents have to say, hear what their concerns are and their complaints are, you got to listen. You can't show up and say, man, those Democrats do suck, right? High five and leave. That's not going to work. What are these residents and taxpayers in Chicago, and then translate that to St. Louis, to cities all across this country that are being led cycle after cycle after cycle by Democrat leaders, deep into the political system, Democrat leaders? What could be different? What is it that needs to be done for them to understand that they've been seen and that they have been heard? That could be the key. That could be the key to winning not just the presidential election in 2024, but the House and the Senate. If you pick up some of those votes for people who are willing to consider an alternative to the norm in November of 2024. If it's President Trump who wins the nomination, sure looks like it will be. If he's the president, every single seat in Congress matters. His ability to get stuff done. Look what the House of Representatives is doing right now, expelling its own Republican members, which I'm not terribly against, but I know for a fact that the Democrats would not have done that should George Santos have been theirs, and they had that slim majority. Every single vote matters. And this border, this open border, and what the Democrats have been willing to do in order to try to score political points off of it, maybe, just maybe, it's coming around to bite them in the end. Let's take a quick break. We're going to get joined by Jim Carafano, I think, when we came back. He's traveling. He was a little bit later than usual because he was getting off a plane, and he's traveling to his hotel, and we're going to talk to us in just a couple minutes. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Air Comfort Service, online at aircomfortservice.com. They know that the cold air that comes into your home in the winter season, as we are approaching it right now, it's dry and it is not comfortable. It's kind of miserable. You know, the dry skin that you have, or in our household, there's so much hand washing going on that the skin gets kind of chapped and cracked. It's just awful. Nosebleeds. My kiddos have that. I've experienced that myself as well in the past. This dry air can really make it more difficult to be comfortable when you're in your home. And Air Comfort Service has a solution for this. And it's something you might not have thought about, how you can implement a humidifier into your furnace system to humidify the air all throughout your house. If you, like us, before we had the whole home humidifier in our house, if you had a humidifier on the second level where the kids and the bedrooms are, if you had a humidifier in the living room space to kind of take care of that floor, maybe the basement, and you got to fill the jugs all the time so that the water can do what it needs to do in the house. It's just a lot to keep up with. It's kind of a pain in the butt. You put this whole home humidifier on your furnace system, and you don't have to think about it anymore. It has made a huge difference in the quality of the air inside the Frey home. And if this sounds like a problem that you need solved as well, Air Comfort Service will take your phone call and explain to you exactly how it works and exactly how to get it. Call them at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. Online at aircomfortservice.com.
Tony La Russa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me next spring on a beautiful trip to Italy. This is going to be great. We're going to fly into Rome. We are going to get on a bus and travel south to the Abbey of Monte Cassino, maybe Italy's best kept secret. It looks like something out of a picture book. We'll visit Puglia. We'll go to Caserta. We're going to spend several days in Sorrento. You'll have an opportunity to visit the ruins in Pompeii, and then Positano, which is on the Amalfi Coast and absolutely one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I can tell you, my wife and I have been there, and we can't wait to go back. You can even take a high-speed jet foil over to the Isle of Capri, which has some tremendous historic Roman ruins on it that you can visit while you're there. $53.67 a person. That includes your airfare from the St. Louis area. Call them toll-free at 888-733-9494. That's 888-733-9494 or conservativetours.com.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You couldn't pick a worse time to sell your home. Sure, your home is worth a small fortune right now, but are you really going to swap your 2 or 3% current interest rate and pay 7 or 8% interest on a new house? No way. You don't have to with the Get Paid and Stay program from Truehold. This is ingenious. With the Get Paid and Stay program, Truehold will buy your home now at its best current value. You bank the cash and stay in your home until interest rates come back down or as long as you like. It's your call. Plus, you won't have to pay property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold pays those expenses. Learn about Truehold's Get Paid and Stay program. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
If you love somebody, better tell them why they're here, 'cause they just may run away.
Says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces.
Well, I'm sad to say that's my senator, Dick Durbin of Illinois. And it seems to me like the problems that he's highlighting, he's not really getting to the root of the problem to find an effective solution to A, what's going on our southern border, B, recruitment issues that we have in our military, and C, what to do with the people who are wandering around this country aimlessly, maybe enticed by the idea of citizenship. Let's talk to somebody who knows a little bit about these things. Jim Carafano joins us now. He's the senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, welcome to the show. Thanks for squeezing us into your schedule today.
I think it's a great idea. Let's take all these Chinese men that have flown over and walked across the border and put them in the U.S. Army and give them security clearances. What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong with that? I mean, what is Dick Durbin trying to solve here?
Well, look, I mean, the first thing is the first problem that needs to get solved is we need a secure border for, we have a $500 billion burden on the American taxpayer because of illegal aliens in this country, crime, public safety threats, terrorist threats. The number one thing is we need to secure the border. There's two parts to secure the border. One is actually physically securing the border, but the other is deterring people from trying to cross the border. And the number one deterrent for people trying to cross the border is to round up people that are in this country illegally and start to deport them. On the other hand, if you give out amnesty or if you promise people citizenship for military service, you're literally incentivizing illegal border crossing, and it just means more people are going to cross. The number one problem with why we're having trouble recruiting in the military is actually people like Dick Durbin, people who are playing politics with military service that is making it less palatable and less attractive to the American youth who are patriotic and want to serve their country, because they ask themselves, why should I go into the military and be lectured about that I shouldn't call my parents mother and father, or I have to attend mandatory drag queen shows. So it is the wacko progressive policies that are actually driving people not to join the military. And it's exactly the opposite. The kinds of things Dick Durbin are doing and advocating for are exactly the reasons why we have a recruiting crisis today.
Jim Carafano with us right now with the Heritage Foundation. You talked about deporting the people who are here, rounding them up and deporting them. A lot of people would say it's heartless to deport. I wonder if you think it's compassionate to let them stay.
Well, first of all, it's not because one is, look, you can't give people amnesty. If you give a broad general amnesty, it just means that you'll have a lot more illegal immigration. So that's not really an option. Letting the system run the way it does is not an option either, because it is brutal and ruthless and ugly at the border. I mean, it is horrible what we're doing. So that's inhuman. And just letting them, stir listlessly in the United States in illegal status doesn't allow them for either. So, look, you do have to deport them. Now, okay, here's the deal. Biden let all these people in and said, well, we're granting them, a provisional stay while they process their application for amnesty. None of them will legally qualify for that. So they're all going to revert to illegal status. And it will be, illegal to give them a job and these other things. So that's the future. I mean, and Biden knows that. If he doesn't get them amnesty, or if he just doesn't enforce the law, he knows that all of them are just going to become illegal, and it's going to be somebody else's problem. And having 30 million illegal people wandering around the United States is not good for the country, and it's not good for them. And you know what? He let them in. Okay, I get that. So normally when we get somebody in the country illegally and we deport them, we say, okay, you can't even think about coming back to this country for 10 years. Now, since Biden let them in Biden let them in. I don't think that's necessarily fair. So if we pick somebody up and we say, okay, you're out of this country, you want to apply to come back legally? Fine, do that. Maybe we'd be thrilled to have you if you applied and you qualified. I'm fine with that. But we just can't let them stay here. Mm-hmm. And people say, well, look how much it's going to cost. Well, you know what? It's not going to cost $500 billion.
Oh, man. When we think about all of the people who have come across the southern border, most people think that they're from Latin America, maybe South America, but you went straight to it and you were talking about the Chinese people who are coming across our border. You got to think that there are I've seen the numbers, they're pretty high, people from the Middle East who might be from terrorist sympathizing countries. We see what Hamas has done to Israel. They hate the great Satan that is the West. Do you have it in your mind that we are facing a terrorist attack that has come to us from our southern border being open?
Well, I mean, as you know, because I've been saying this on your show for months, I am. Look, I know that I'm sitting here cheerleading and saying, yeah, wouldn't this be great? Of course, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. But the most easy vector to conduct a major terrorist attack in the United States is to just get a team, walk them across the border, send them to a city, and have them attack. It's why we all freaked out when there was this accident. Well, not accident, but this guy ran their car and blew up their car by accident on the Canadian border. We all immediately thought, oh my God, this could be terrorism, because you know why? It could have been.
Right.
And it is the number one fear. But it's more than just terrorists. Africa, the Middle East, and Asia are sending people by the thousands into the tens of thousands across the U.S. border. Now, just to put this in perspective, the fastest growing place in the world is Africa. They're going to double their population in 30 years. Their rate of population growth is 3 times over. If things don't go well in Africa and people don't want to stay there, that means like 500 million people are going to be on the move, and they're going to just and they're going to come here. And people aren't getting this. They don't understand that Joe Biden has created the world's largest human trafficking network, and it has been so successful that anybody that wants to come to the United States, or anybody that wants to get out of the country that they're in, no matter how rich or poor they are, how good or evil, the easiest thing for them to do is to get to Latin America and walk into the United States. And they were doing it in the tens of thousands. Man. And if you think that number is going to go down, then you haven't looked at the numbers for the past 2+ years, because since day one that Biden has been in power, the numbers have just gone up and up and up, and they show no sign of going down at all, ever. And they told us it was seasonal. Then they told us it was all Trump's fault. So here we are into the waning days of Biden's term, and the numbers are growing out of sight. And the answer is, it is a deliberate policy of the United States to create the world's largest human trafficking network and bring as many people here as possible.
Wow. Yeah, it's so detrimental, and it's so obvious, which is why it's so incredibly frustrating. Jim, thank you.
I'm sorry, but the most frustrating thing for me, the number one thing is when you say, who is paying for all this? You are. Annie Frey's paying for this. Whether it's the human trafficking network or moving people in or the cost of them staying here and everything, all that $500 billion plus, Annie Frey's paying for that, because every single nickel of that is being paid with U.S. tax dollars.
Yeah, it's awful, but it does need to be spoken about, and you always do that with us. Jim, thank you for being with us today. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Bye-bye. He's a senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. And he's right. You're paying for this. I'm paying for this. And we cannot afford it. Not our tax dollars, not our children, not our young people who are dying of fentanyl. Man, it's a huge, huge problem. Let's fix it. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show in a minute.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? Did you go with one of those high-deductible, limited network Obama plans? Well, you're not stuck with it. Or did you go with a health plan outside of the marketplace that's costing you an arm and a leg? There are better options. Kim Kiefer at H&L Agency offers plans where you only meet a deductible if you go into a hospital. You pick your doctors, and it's 30 to 60% lower than most other plans. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, you need to talk to an expert like Kim Kiefer. Call 800-975-2841. That's 800-975-2841. Or go to hnlagency.org. And is spelled out. That's HANDL agency.org. Kim can customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government. Again, call Kim at 800-975-2841. That's 800-975-2841.
It is my job in trying to convince you to go see Dr. Ty Parker at Fountains Family Dentistry to remove the barriers that you may have in doing so. So I talk a lot about how nice the staff is, how easy it is to make an appointment with them, and how easy it is on your schedule because they're open late some nights and early on other days. That's all to accommodate you. I realize, though, that when I talk about Fountains Family Dentistry in Fairview Heights, Illinois, you might be thinking, well, I don't even know where that is. Well, let's start there and say, do you know where Fairview Heights is? If you don't, then I realize I've probably lost you. But if you know where Fairview Heights, Illinois is, it is right off of 64. So if you know where St. Clair Square is, you know where maybe Shogun is, they're in the same plaza. Right next to St. Clair Square in the Fountains Plaza is Fountains Family Dentistry. Now, if you live in Illinois, you've probably driven past it a few times. So I encourage you to just make it part of your schedule. It's very, very easy to do. FountainsFamilyDentistry.com is where you start. You give them a phone call from there. You can do it right there online. FountainsFamilyDentistry.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's not enough. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That message from Jewish college students holding a news conference on Capitol Hill about the response to anti-Semitism on some campuses.
Being a Jew at NYU has meant being physically assaulted in NYU's library by a fellow student while I was wearing an American-Israeli flag and having my attacker still roam freely.
This as several college presidents defend their response at a House hearing.
We are combating this hate on our campus with both immediate and comprehensive action. I have condemned anti-Semitism publicly, regularly, and in the strongest possible terms.
The University of Pennsylvania President Liz McGill, alongside the president of MIT and Harvard President Claudine Gay, who emphasized security measures, but also free speech rights, declining to specify which speech during pro-Palestinian protests might cross a line to a punishable conduct. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Gaza must be demilitarized after war and that the Israeli military will control security, raising questions about how long that could last. IDF spokesman Major Doron Spielman just telling Fox News.
The issue is we cannot leave our civilians exposed. Again, Hamas, they haven't changed their ways. They're continually saying that October 7th was just a rehearsal, and they're going to carry it out again and again and again.
He says the world must understand it's not just an Israel problem and that terrorists cannot be in control of Gaza. FBI Director Christopher Wray telling a Senate hearing,
I've never seen a time where all the threats, or so many of the threats, are all elevated all at exactly the same time.
He's making the case for reauthorizing a surveillance tool that's drawn constitutional concerns. An expected video address from Ukraine's president to U.S. lawmakers apparently not happening after all due to a last-minute issue. He was planning to appeal for more U.S. aid. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, you're up next. Ugh, my throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight. Here, try these. Vicks VapoCool Drops. Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors. Ooh, I can already feel it. I told you. So, you ready? I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Hey, St. Louis, brace yourself for the ultimate holiday deal with Consumer Cellular. Snag an incredible 50% off the Iris Flip when you buy before December 17th, making it only $34.50. The Iris Flip is all the phone and camera you need with a user-friendly design, the perfect flip phone companion. Plus, you'll get nationwide coverage and always free activation. Don't miss out. Head to one of our 4 retail locations in your area and seize this deal this holiday season.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Windy and chilly on this Tuesday afternoon. Temperatures are now starting to drop, and we'll be taking a slow drop through the 40s this afternoon. A bit of a changeable sky. Slow clearing tonight, but it's cold down to 28 degrees. Wednesday, sunny and chilly, 48. We've got a couple of warm days, especially the early afternoon anyway. Thursday and Friday, low 60s. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, it's Guy from the Good Feet store. Listen, if you've been suffering with knee, hip, or back pain, I've got news for you. The problem may be right under your nose. I'm talking about your feet. Think about it. Your whole body is supported by your feet, right? So if they're out of alignment, that could cause issues, not just in your feet, but your knees, hips, even your back. The Good Feet system helps put your feet in your ideal position. Once you do that, everything from there on up just might work better. I'm sure you've been frustrated trying all kinds of things to relieve a foot, knee, back, or hip pain, but maybe the solution was right in front of you the whole time at the Good Feet store. Just stop in and meet with one of our specialists who will personally fit you with the perfect arch support system. They'll let you walk around, try it for free, then you decide if they work for you before you buy. How great is that? Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations in Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeetstlouis.com. Find what you've been missing at the Good Feet store.
I want to talk to you about Stewie and Stewart's American Mortgage. We were able to speak with Stewie in studio yesterday as we've heard that rates have come down. Mortgage rates have lowered a little bit. If you've purchased a home, this is what he said last year, and I will repeat it. If you've purchased a home in the last year, you want to make sure that you contact Stewie to see if you can refi for a lower rate. You call him or you text him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440, and he's going to walk you through it. Now, when you use the bagel loan at Stewart's American Mortgage, you're not going to pay anything in closing costs. Other lenders out there will charge you. This is a no-brainer. Get that lower interest rate while it exists and make sure that you're not paying any extra interest in the process. If you're looking to purchase a home and you know that you're going to have to secure your mortgage, when you go to Stewie, you're going to get the best deal around. The bagel loan makes it so you don't have to pay any closing costs. He can also close in less than 2 weeks. He has been able to help so many listeners of this show. He's helped myself. I've used the bagel loan twice myself. It's a smart financial move. Call him and find out if it's smart for you as well. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts, my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture. Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Keep listening because in the 2 o'clock hour today, we are giving away a Cardinals 12 Days of Christmas gift pack. So you're going to have to listen to the sounder and call when you hear it. Not quite yet, but the number, if you want to jot it down for when that time comes, is 314-241-9797. You're going to get a bobblehead pack, 5 games. The pack features great bobblehead promotions throughout the season, including Wayno and Louie, that dog that they got him. That's awesome. Hall of Famer car bobbleheads, and more. So stick around. We're going to give that away in a little bit. Our YouTube live chat poll, which I have not mentioned at all yet today. So thank you to everybody who has gone and habitually voted. Today's is a little bit more about the holiday season and the gift-giving season. The question is a gift card a good gift? Yes or no? Now, you can think of this question in 2 different ways because you can be the gift giver or the gift receiver. And I have a feeling for some people that your answer to that question might be different because it's a yes or no question. Is a gift card a good gift, yes or no? Might be different based on if you're the giver or the receiver. What do you think?
You took the words right out of my mouth because that's what I was going to say. If I'm the receiver of this gift, I love it. I don't give a lot of gift cards, though. I think unless there's a place that I really want you to try, that I'm like, oh, you got to go here. They have the best whatever. I might do a gift card, but otherwise I usually get a gift to give to somebody based on that person. So to answer the question, I'm going to say yes, though.
It's a good gift.
Yes.
Brad?
I think it's a good gift. The reason I think it's a good gift is because you can't, like, I think the reason for being opposed to it is something like akin to the idea that maybe you don't know the person as well as you should. But I think, like, if you get a gift card, you know what they like because you're getting them a gift card to a certain store.
I don't think that assumption is. I don't think that's a fair assumption.
You don't think that's fair?
I wouldn't say. I don't know what the percentage is. I don't know what the science says about this. But I don't think that because you're giving someone a gift card that you know what they like. I think that there are a lot of gift cards that are given because you don't know what they like.
Well, that's true. But I think if you sit there and you think about it, though, you know, like what sorts of things a person might be interested in. Most of my friends wouldn't be able to get me something for a car or something like that because they're just not interested in that. But they could get me a gift card to an Advance Auto Parts or an O'Reilly's or something like that, and then I could then use it for that. So they know what I'm interested in, but they just don't know enough about the topic to get a specific gift that is something that I'm really needing. But I think gift cards are a good gift.
I struggle with this one because I don't ever get a gift card and go, man, this sucks. I wish I didn't have it.
Right.
But I do feel like gift cards are of the obligatory side of gift giving.
Yeah, I understand that too.
It doesn't mean that, because I generally, for instance, on this show, I generally will give a gift card to you guys because I feel like it's probably the most practical use of something that you could get. So, I'll usually try to give you something that is tangible as well in addition to that. I kind of think that it depends on the person who's giving it and who you're giving it to. But, if I gave you an Amazon gift card, you're not going to be like, I'm really disappointed in this.
Yeah. But you're right.
I don't have to put any thought into that.
No, you don't. And that's the thing about either an Amazon gift card or a Walmart gift card. It's that kind of stuff that you're going, I have no idea. Like
or
kind
a
of what
Visa
you're saying.
Gift card.
Yeah, a Visa gift card. I have no idea what to get you. In fact, I really, really can't even narrow it down to know that you like cars, for instance. I'm just going to get you this, but it still works.
How many gift cards do you have in your home right now?
Roughly 20.
For things and places and stuff.
Yeah, I've got a couple for Peel Pizza Place that we wanted a trivia night. I've got some for a bike place that I haven't been to in a long time. The ones that are very specific, they sit there for a while because you got to wait till it's that time to use that gift card. But I used to argue fervently on the other side of this issue. I used to say, why get somebody a gift card? It's like saying, here's money, but you have to spend it where I tell you. And I disagree with that now, because now that I am an adult and I've got a little bit more expendable income.
When were you saying that? When you were 6?
Yeah. I was passionate, too.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad, I don't want that gift card. I want the money. No, I think now that I've gotten a little bit older, I realize that actually it's almost like license to go enjoy yourself. Because if you just gave me the money, I would pay bills with it and do boring things.
But that's still up to you.
It is. But I like now somebody saying, here's a gift card to a restaurant, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are forced to go have yourself a nice meal.
I have so many gift cards to restaurants that people want me or us or something to go to, and we don't get there.
Just get it to go.
It's just not that easy.
It is that easy.
Not if the restaurant isn't open when you can go to the place.
Well, that's true. If it's just a breakfast restaurant or something.
Like, for instance, my dad is good at creating lists. Like, you get an email and it'd be like, things Dad might like for Christmas. Love it. Because you can get it. You want to get somebody. I think that the bottom line is you don't want to get something for somebody that they don't want and don't need. Because gift giving, you are trying to find something. For instance, one of my favorite gifts that my husband got me was a really nice record player. And, you know, I think it's around a couple $100 is a turntable, a good model, a good brand. I would never have spent that money on myself for that, because it's purely for my enjoyment. I mean, the kids enjoy when we put records on, because I enjoy it and they enjoy it with me. But if I'm going to go spend the money on that, it would feel like a selfish expenditure of a couple $100 or whatever he paid for it. But he knew how much I always wanted one, because I used to have one and it didn't work any longer, and so we got rid of it. He knew how much I would enjoy it, and it was a very personal, smart gift and expenditure. I was very grateful for it. But I think that a lot of times it's with people who are not in your super inner circle that end up getting gifts for you that are so impractical that you get like 7 of, maybe if it's coworkers or something, and you're grateful. Somebody thought of you. Someone took the time to get you something that matters. Do you prefer to have that thing, or would you prefer to have a $10 Starbucks gift card or Scooter's gift card?
Number 2, Annie. I'm taking door number 2. I'd rather have the gift card
than the thing.
Usually, yeah. It's hard to knock it out of the park with just an acquaintance, because you just don't know. When you get to know people, and I actually really enjoy gift giving for this reason. When you get to know people, and my apologies, by the way, if I don't do this.
I was going to say,
trying really hard.
Are you talking about the T-shirt you got me from like a Chinese market that had a Barack Obama that looked like Mao or something on it?
Yeah, isn't that great?
That was...
It was like a size small.
Very unique.
It was like children's medium or something.
Ryan saw that and thought, I should give this to Annie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I received it.
Yeah. And now the shirt is...
Oh, don't ask that question. I'm not answering that on the air.
I can't wait for the break. But I really do like trying to find... And this is why I buy gifts throughout the year. Is because if somebody mentions something, oh, I've always wanted to have that, but you can tell they aren't going to go buy it. I will note that, and now that I have a phone, it's even easier because I can like note it in my Amazon list. Go buy this thing, and I'll buy it right then, and it just sits in a box for however many months waiting for Christmas, and then lo and behold, remember when you said this in May?
And what if the answer is no?
Then it's on you.
What you need to do is you need to clip the audio. If it's from us, when we said it, usually, so you can prove it.
I like that you guys think that this is all about you, but this is also about people in my life who are not on the radio, so I
Yeah.
don't always
Well,
have
just
the
record them.
ability to record.
Dr. P says, my issue is that most gift cards are forgotten and don't get used. Great for seller. Brad, do you have any gift cards in a stack sitting somewhere in your house for a moment in time?
Maybe just one or two.
Really?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Oh, man. Yeah, Katie just discovered last night. We were thrilled. She discovered this stash of gift cards from about a year ago because it's Christmas time. She goes, oh, my gosh. And we're thrilled. She's like, we're going to H&M this weekend.
It's, the most random thing.
Yeah.
Like, my husband and I have talked about getting rid of the kids for a weekend and spending all of our gift cards. Like, it doesn't matter what we do.
Oh, that would be so fun.
We have to spend the gift cards. So, like, all of the food that we have, even if it's like $2 left on the gift card, you go spend it on something.
It would be fun. That would be great. The Frey's weekend of gluttony.
We would need more than a weekend.
Yeah, if you got 20 gift cards, that's going to be tough. More? More? I think I have about 20, although that's my stash. Katie's stash just doubled.
She's hoarding those.
That's the thing. She spends those things almost immediately, and I wait until it's practical like an idiot.
My husband, as a teacher, gets... It kind of depends on the holiday season, but he gets a lot of Starbucks gift cards. And he will... This is so funny. We're talking about, like, standard traditional gender roles. There's something about going to Starbucks that he's really not capable of doing.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He'd go to Scooters.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
yes. I know this is shocking, Ryan, that you don't feel this. There are people listening right now who understand the barrier of walking into a Starbucks.
But drive-through. I mean, getting out and getting in the car, I get that, but...
The pressure of ordering, which he's over now because he knows the drink that I get and he likes that drink too, which is a large, non-fat, sugar-free vanilla latte with an extra shot. He doesn't get the extra shot. Although when I go get coffee, I get him the extra shot and just watch.
Wait a minute. It's the pressure that he can't handle in the drive-through?
No. He wants to go in and order a coffee. He doesn't want to say non-fat, sugar-free vanilla latte.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's emasculating.
I don't think that it's emasculating for him because he just doesn't do it. I think that he just doesn't think it's necessary and he doesn't want to deal with it. So he doesn't do it. He makes coffee at home for himself.
Is he the kind of guy that if he drives through a Hardee's or something, he's like, look, I just want a burger?
No. In fact, like if he goes to Scooters, he has no problem going to Scooters and ordering me my coffee.
My mind can't
exactly the way I want it.
I don't know what's going on.
It feels like every time he goes there, he'll be like, why don't you just give me 2 of those?
So he's
it's
okay
like a
with it.
concession into getting the second coffee, but he doesn't have to say it for him. This, my wife wants a blue, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, just make it 2.
Wait, Brad and I need to sit down and have a session with Jared, I think, because I need to
Brad
find out
understands
what
what I'm
this
saying.
is.
Yeah,
I get it.
You do? But
Oh,
you're
yeah.
fine with it, though.
Maybe Brad and Jared need to sit down and have a session with you.
Yeah.
And explain how you should be more.
How I should put up more barriers
Yes.
between myself and ordering frou-frou coffee drinks.
Yeah.
Like, Ryan,
Yeah. What's your Starbucks order again?
Yeah, lay it on us, mister.
Lately, it's been an iced chai with cinnamon dolce syrup, ice on the side. Please don't put the ice in the drink. Please fill the drink all the way, though. And if I'm feeling real good, leave a little ice in there, add some cold foam. Now, if you think that is emasculating,
I have so many jokes that I don't think I'm allowed to say right now.
again,
I don't. No.
let's take a long
it can
break
only
here.
be emasculating if you feel emasculated by
I
it.
do not feel emasculated.
Well, then it's not emasculating.
I almost never feel emasculated.
I think Jared would get out of the car if he were with you.
Jared would get out of the car and skin a deer. I can't compare myself to your husband. It's not fair to me. And really to most men. Because that dude apparently feels bad about ordering at Starbucks.
He doesn't feel bad. He's just not willing to do it.
That's exactly. And that's why I think maybe it could go both ways. Maybe I could talk with him. Maybe we could talk about some of his issues. We could tear down some of those barriers.
Do you think
and he could teach me to skin a deer?
Do you think that you're going to help Jared tear down barriers that he has?
No.
No.
He's
very comfortable in who he is.
And it's not his fault.
No.
It's the source. I don't think that he would listen to me.
I think he'd listen. I think he'd chuckle.
I think he would go, just like you did when I suggest you eat more sushi, your opinion is noted.
Amanda on YouTube says, Ryan, dear Lord, I feel emasculated for him.
That's fine. I mean, Amanda's probably more masculine than me.
No, she's very beautiful and feminine.
I didn't say that.
And handy.
I'm reducing myself.
Okay.
Not you, Amanda.
It could be heard a different way on the other end. Let him have it.
Yeah, here we go.
The YouTube live chat poll and tell us, is a gift card a good gift? Yes or no? John says, a gift card says, I really don't know you, but it can be good if that person is trying to purchase something pricey and is asking everyone to make some contribution to their gift. It has a purpose. I like that idea, John. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment. Go vote. Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Has anyone ever taken the time to help you at a point in your life when you were in desperate need? How did that make you feel toward the person that helped you? The word gratitude comes to mind. Hi, I'm Martin Winslow, founder and president of Bethlehem Christian Academy. Through the years, I've met so many children that have gratitude toward those who helped them through their child sponsorships. Currently, BCA has 2,000 students spread over 4 countries, full of children filled with gratitude toward those who've helped them. But there continues to be great need. BCA's ministry is transforming lives by feeding and educating poor and orphan children in some of the poorest places in Africa and South Asia. Here's how you can help. For just $36 a month, you can offer these kids hope of a better future, but more importantly, give them the opportunity to learn about Jesus. You can also join us on a mission trip to one of our several school locations overseas and meet the child you sponsor. Remember that feeling of gratitude you had toward the person who helped you out? Wouldn't you like to pass that feeling on to someone else? To find out more about how you can get involved with BCA's ministry, please visit bcaministries.com. That's bcaministries.com.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
It's football season, and the NFL is in full effect on the free Odyssey app. We're heading into the final stretch of the regular season, and the playoff picture is starting to come into focus. Whatever team you're rooting for, the free Odyssey app has you covered with the local talk and your team's podcasts. Plus, listen to play-by-play of every Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night game from Westwood One. If you're looking for the NFL, it's all on the free Odyssey app. Download it today and search for your favorite team. That's AUDACY.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
The Annie Frey Show, 12 days of Cardinals mega giveaways.
Here we go, sluggers. Be caller number 10.
Why are you talking like that?
That's the way guys talk.
Did someone tell you that? Is that the way the St. Louis Cardinal players talk?
Yeah, I was talking.
Hey, slugger!
I was talking to Scott Spezio, and he's like, "Hey, we're Wiggins." I just made up a name, by the way.
Will you get a Spezio patch?
Oh, that would be awesome.
We'll see.
Okay.
I got to give this phone number, 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Be the 10th caller, and
10?
you will... 10.
Tony La Russa.
That's exactly right. Tony
and
La Russa.
Maryville, Illinois native, Ken Oberkfell.
Wow.
Yes.
Excellent
All
job.
right.
Field's named after him and everything. All right, 10th caller wins a bobblehead pack. This is a 5-game pack of bobblehead games. Good luck.
As we near the end of this year, if you're looking for a new senior living community, check out Hampton Manor of Wentzville. Mark Cox here. This beautiful, brand new senior living community is located just a half-mile north of the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. It's a single-story community built by someone who has built resort-style living without the resort-style price. Take your visit right now. Tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it. Go online to WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation, because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to 20% on a new HVAC system when you bundle it with attic insulation. 9 out of 10 homes are under insulated. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
We've gone out a few times. You ready to put a ring on it? Download the Odyssey app and listen to 97.1 FM Talk on your phone or by telling your smart speaker to play it. This is St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Congratulations, Dave and Godfrey, on winning our Cardinals 12 Days of Christmas giveaway bobblehead pack. Hope you enjoy that event. We're going to do that, continue for all this week, all next week, and then 12 days, right?
12 days. That was just day 2, so
Yeah.
lots of chances to win still.
Yeah, I'll tell you the number is 314-241-9797, so save that number in your phone right now, and then you can listen. We always try to give you a heads up of what hour it's going to be. The giveaway is going to be at the beginning of the show, so make sure you're tuning in right at noon to hear that. Sometimes we might give away a little extra tip on our YouTube live stream as well, and you can be able to listen in around the time that we say we're going to tease it up. Our YouTube live chat poll for today is a gift card a good gift, yes or no? People writing in on our YouTube live right now and commenting. Let me know if you guys agree with any of this stuff. Rick says gift cards are okay, but cash works better. Now, Ryan, you've said you prefer the gift card because it encourages you to do something for yourself other than pay a bill.
Yes. When I was younger, Quick Rick, I would have agreed with you. But now that I am a man and I am wise, I believe that gift cards are the way to go as far as just a treat gift. You know, if you're trying to bless somebody financially or something, you give them cash, that's fine. But if you're just like, hey, go treat yourself, gift cards are great.
So if I'm going to give gifts to everybody on this show, and I usually do some sort of monetary something or other, would you prefer, in all honesty, a gift card or cash?
That's a good question because that's a different question. I think still a gift card. I think so.
Okay.
Because that forces you to think about what what you think I would have fun doing.
So here's the question. I think that this is a key part of gift giving. I think a lot of people give gifts based on what the giver likes, that you want someone else to experience. I think that there are a lot of people, and the intention here is to do something kind and generous. So I always think the intention is of the utmost importance to consider. But if I'm giving you a gift, Ryan, should I think about things that Ryan really enjoys? And should I bless you in a way that you might get to experience something you really enjoy? Or should I think, oh man, this is something I really like. I think Ryan would like this too, but this is something that I think is great, and then give that gift. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. I know exactly what you're saying, and I think both are fine. I really do enjoy, like, if somebody knows me well enough to know, oh, I know you really like this random Chinese restaurant, I'm going to get you a gift card there. That's pretty cool because, well, you had to know me pretty well to know that. But I do like that type of gift that if you say, you know what, I don't really know, Brad, I know you pretty well. I don't exactly know where you eat out a lot, though. So I know the area that you live in, though, and I know that there's a restaurant there that I really like. I want you to try this. I think that is a very cool gift. I like that gift.
What do you think?
Whenever I buy gifts, I try to buy something that I think that person would like. So I don't really take my thoughts into consideration unless there's something that I really like that I think that person would really like. Not because I like it, but because I know that person. So I think that it's better to get somebody something that I believe they would like.
Russell on YouTube says, at Christmas, yes, a gift card for my letter carrier and garbage collector, not so much for family, though. So being able to give, I really think that there is a missed opportunity to give gift cards. You know, we talked about the coffee one. So if you're going to go get a Scooters gift card or whatever, that you could give a $5 gift card and you buying someone a cup of coffee. And there are people you can give those things to. And I mean, if you got if you got a cup of coffee from somebody, or maybe it's to Dunkin' Donuts, you can get a donut or a sandwich or something like that. A nice little gift from somebody who you may not have expected to give a gift can really brighten your day. And all of the gifts that you get, just the sentiment of I thought about you, and you know that you were thought about in that way, and somebody had gratitude in their heart. I've really transitioned away in the last couple years, but I'm focusing on it this year very much so, and not thinking about gift giving in the holiday season as a monetary allotment for all the people who I want to give gifts to. I think it's easy to fall into that. And then it becomes very box checky.
Yeah, it does. We have to do that with our kids to some extent. I don't think that they know the price of everything, so we can get away with a little bit. But they definitely know the number of presents that they get.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll try to do like 10 presents under the tree, but sometimes if we've got 4 really good, fun gifts they're going to be super excited about, then we're buying socks and wrapping them up. I generally will buy my kids a new pillow at Christmas.
Yeah.
Because they need a new pillow, and a new pillow is great, and it's something to open. The presents, the excitement of the gifts under the tree.
Yep.
And, you know, if that means that they get to open 10 gifts instead of 9, but the 10th gift, whether they open it up one way or the other, is new underwear, they still like to open it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's part of the key, is how much are they going to enjoy the excitement of the opening the gifts. My daughter this year, she makes Christmas lists all year.
Yeah?
All year.
Are they good lists?
They're pretty solid, but they never end. So you're like, well, which one do I pick? And this year she said, okay, she's 9 years old. I'm going to try to boil these down to one list for you. I'm like, oh, that's super helpful. So she did, but it's I don't know that she knew this. It is the most expensive possible things from each list. But then at the bottom, now, if you can't get me any of these things, cash is fine. But I do need it to be at least $16.
$16.
Yeah. I don't know why she chose that number.
I think you give her a 20 and call it a big win.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Do you find it harder to buy for kids or adults?
Adults.
What about you?
Kids.
Why?
Because I don't really know what kids want, like little kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's harder for me to understand what they want, and because I want to get them something that they want, it's hard for me to figure it out because I haven't had a chance to interact with them enough.
When you ask a little child what they want for Christmas, they just start listing things that they know.
Yeah. This year we rode the Polar Express this year.
Yeah,
and I couldn't believe it, but when we stopped at the North Pole, Santa got on our train.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and so we were, oh my gosh, and the workers went crazy. We couldn't believe it. Santa was there. So Santa walks up to us and he says, "What do you want for Christmas?" And my oldest boy, he's like, "Well, I want this Nintendo Switch game and this and that." He was ready to go. Now, my youngest, 6 years old, he says, "I think I would like a working full-size helicopter."
Hey, if you got the big guy right there, you better ask for what you want.
I agreed. I'm like, man, go big. And Santa goes, "We'll see what we can do, eh, Dad?"
I'm surprised he didn't say, "Consider it done."
Yeah. But that's what I love is that, especially the younger they are, they're just like, there is no limit. There's no limitation on Christmas. What I think at this moment would be fun is if I could somehow fill up the sky with a water pool. You know, like just make it like that's my dream at the moment. Nobody knows what that means, but that's what I'm going to ask for.
I'd love that story because I'm very keenly aware as a mom with my children spanning ages, a 14-year-old looks at Christmas a little bit different than a 2-year-old. But I still see with my son, who's my oldest, I can tell when the traditions that he's grown up with, around the holiday seasons or things that we do throughout the course of the year that are kind of traditional to our family, that he clings to those things, that those are important to him. And, I think about the holidays for myself. I think about traditions that I've established over the course of my life, and so much of it is rooted in childhood. I don't have a strong memory of like everything that happened in my 20s. I kind of try to forget in a great capacity a lot of the things that happened in my 20s because I found the 20s to be incredibly stressful. So much change, so much struggle, lots of ambition, and you're told to just work hard and wait until you get it.
It's true.
And it paid off for me. It doesn't pay off in the same way for everybody all the time. My husband has a TV radio degree as well, and he decided after realizing that was going to be a very difficult thing, graduating college in 2006, in 2008, everything bottomed out. And, I've told the story before about after I worked my internship at a local sports talk radio station, they called me to extend to me the opportunity to continue my unpaid internship.
It's very kind.
And I took it. And I had to commute an hour each way every day, and gas was about $5 a gallon to continue to hold my position as an unpaid intern. And I'm glad I did. I paid my dues, but my husband was kind of trying to do something similar, and he was trying to take the risk of doing that. And it was like, we can't both do this and function. And so he went back to school to become a teacher, and it is God's calling for him to do that. He's blessed many, many students over the course of his career in teaching. And I'm so glad that he's not in this cesspool of media wasting away. Not that he would. We both have our ability to affect people in our lives, but he's obviously where he needs to be. But the 20s, when you're in your 20s, it's just really difficult. And I think that right now the expediency with which we want everything that we determine that we want, that you don't, if you don't get the thing that you want right away, you are either made to think that it is unfair or that it's never going to happen. And then you have some sort of despair about it. As opposed to, no, I'm just going to keep churning away at this. I'm going to keep working at it. When you get to the holiday season, all of that heaviness and weight of the world, if the holidays are fun for you, and the holidays aren't happy for everybody. In some cases, the holidays might be the most depressing time of year. And I understand that that's the case for people for whatever particular reason. But I do think in our conversations that we've been having, yesterday we talked a lot about the importance of having the family, and culturally we should be upholding the family unit as much as we possibly can. Because the traditions that a lot of us perpetuate right now as adults are things that we've pulled and maybe variated a little bit from our childhood or when we were growing up, the people who impressed upon us. In my case, a lot of the things that were impressed upon me when I was growing up from my family members who are no longer with us. And valuing that, valuing family, valuing the people who are in your life, the people who maybe have left relationships that you've lost that have maybe come back, that you've wanted to come back. all of these things change over the course of years, but your childhood and however that is impressed upon your brain is kind of what is the consistent thing, I think, when it comes to holiday seasons. And it doesn't have to just be Christmas. But that's why I feel like it's so important to invest in those types of things with children when they exist right now and to uphold that idea of a family unit, because it's kind of an anchor that keeps you going through, your teens when you're kind of feeling like you kind of like want to be as excited about it before as you've always been, but you're kind of realizing that it's just not the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into your 20s and you're living on your own, and then you're establishing your own family. And like we were talking about yesterday, that is it's very rewarding, but it is very challenging to get through those early years. That when you invest in children and you impress upon them the most important things, which I think are, in my family at least, faith, first and foremost, and understanding that that is the number one priority, but then also family and being with family and connecting with family and caring for people and giving, that has a lifelong effect on children as they continue to grow. And they'll take it with them as they get older, and when things get hard, that it's kind of something that can root you back into the most important things. And gift giving is part of it, whether it's a gift card or not. When you have the opportunity to signify to somebody that you cared about them and you wanted to do something to bless them, I think that is one of the most important parts of celebrating the actual reason for the Christmas season. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, it's not the bee or not the bee time, but there is a not the bee story. It's kind of a funny one. It has to do with Disney. You guys know about community notes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to tell you a quick story about it's not the Babylon Bee story that you did about Disney on last Friday, but there's another one, and they got community noted. I'm going to tell you why when we come back. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. If you're shopping for flooring this holiday season, make sure you give Michael's Flooring Outlet an opportunity to show you what they have. They have beautiful displays in their stores, whether you're looking in St. Charles County at 116 Main Street in Old Town St. Peters, at Mid Rivers and Highway 70. They are also located in West County on Olive Boulevard, just 1 mile off of 270 West on Olive. And they've also got a location right there for you in Darien Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet will help you get connected to the flooring that you need and match quality and value so you don't have to sacrifice either when you shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet. If you're shopping for a beautiful wood finish, check out their Ultra Wood product. It's easy to install, wet protect, waterproof hardware that goes along with it, and it's easy to clean. They care about making sure your experience is top-notch. They want to make sure that when you're done that you, too, are recommending people shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet. So if you're in the market right now, make sure you give them a chance to earn your business. You can find them online by shopping at igotfloored.com.
Updating your home with James Hardie Siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to maximize your investment. The rising prices on vinyl siding has made Hardie Siding a great alternative. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today.
I'm Eric Robert with Stifel. The economy is always changing, but what does it mean for your investments? Join me and fellow Stifel financial advisor Bob Stockdale during On the Money, Saturday mornings from 11 until noon on 97.1 FM Talk. Stifel, member NYSE and SIPC.
'Tis the season to be jolly, and with the holidays right around the corner, you want to make sure you have a clean house, and my friends at Zero Res can make that happen. They have been in my house so many times over the years cleaning the carpeting. Look, we have dogs, we have cats, I have a little girl who's 8 years old right now. The carpets get dirty. The area rugs and upholstery, they handle those as well. You get holiday spills that maybe happened over Thanksgiving. Let's clean those up right now, and don't do it yourself. That's a mistake. You go into a big box store, you make a soapy mess on your carpet, you don't really get it clean. Zero Res is going to fix that. Right now, the offer for December is 3 rooms, Zero Res Res starting at $129. And don't forget your air ducts. Take $50 off when you get your air ducts Zero Res clean right now. They have a fantastic set of crews in the area. They can get you booked very, very quickly. They have a 4.9 rating on Google with over 5,000 reviews. You got to mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk to get the deal. Call Zero Res right now. 314-474-2020. Online, ZeroResSTL.com. Say you want the Mark Reardon special. Spell it forward or backward, it spells the same.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The medical providers at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now and your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
We've been talking about it. We'd like you to chime in and let us know what you think. Is a gift card a good gift? Yes or no? And let us know why. That's the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll of the day. Type in Annie Frey or Annie Frey Show. You'll find that YouTube page and give it a vote there and let us know. 2:48. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Jim Talent back with us.
We need to impose consequences with Iran, beginning with not sending them the $6 billion, not unfreezing the $10 billion that are in Iraq, and cracking down on their oil shipments to China.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Oh, once upon a midnight period, walk with something in my head. I couldn't escape the memory of a phone call and of what you said.
So there's that whole kerfuffle. We didn't really talk a whole lot about it on this show, but Elon Musk basically telling Disney to pound sand in a profane way, but really seemed to resonate with a lot of people, both on Twitter and that are frustrated with companies like Disney and that whole host of companies who said, we're going to pull our advertising. Walmart was included in that from X. They weren't going to because of Elon Musk. And they we spent a whole summer burning our cities to the ground in protest. And people were, out there saying, words are violence and everything. Then you go and you look at Harvard. There was a testimony today in Congress, and they were basically saying, yes, we know that intifada is a very, very horrible thing to say, but we stand by free speech. And we're going to allow it to happen. It's like, oh, really? You do have free speech as an American, but if you're going to say hateful, murderous types of things on Harvard's campus, Harvard does have the opportunity to say, you have the right to say this, but you don't have an American right to go to Harvard. And we have a problem with that. So it's hard to find out what the truth is in any given circumstance, and it's hard to follow what side of righteous indignation that the left is on these days. I want to read to you real quick before we get to the poll results, which you can go vote at Annie Frey YouTube channel. Is a gift card a good gift, yes or no? There's a Not the Bee article, and it says a Babylon Bee headline about Disney's depravity had to be fact-checked on X because the article is believable. So there was a Babylon Bee story article that was screenshot, and it said child grooming content on X reduced by 83% after Disney pulls ads. And it says on there that it's from December 1st, 2023, from thebabylonbee.com. So it's there. And if you know anything about Babylon Bee, you know that it's satire and it's meant to be humorous and comedic and parody. So the community note that got put on this, again, the headline, child grooming content on X reduced by 83% after Disney pulls ads. Community notes put on there As shown in the image, this is a satirical article made by the Babylon Bee. The article is believable in a way that warrants a community note, as many in the comments seem to think it's true.
Well, you know Babylon Bee has struck a nerve when they get one of these. Because once in a while they do, and people go, oh my gosh, can you believe this? I can't believe that's the Babylon Bee.
Imagine what it's like at the Babylon Bee when this comes across. There is high-fiving and
pizza party.
Hooray! Hip, hip, like the whole pizza party. There's celebration because they know that they're over the target, significantly over the target. I just found that to be ironic, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see how X is able to survive the pulling off of ads. I mean, I still subscribe to Twitter Blue. I had a blue check before he attached blue checks to Twitter Blue. I like some of the features that Twitter Blue provides me, but the only reason why I'm still paying it is because I want to support Elon Musk. Like, I don't think that the service is giving me enough right now to warrant the $7.99 or whatever it is a month that I'm paying. But I don't want to back out on Elon Musk because I'm so grateful for what he's doing.
I stopped. I bought it initially, and I just was not using Twitter as much as I thought I would. I thought it was going to make the experience a lot better. And I also just, I got a new phone. I didn't really transfer it. I just found the value to be not quite worth it, and I pulled my support.
Yeah, I've felt that same about the value, but I couldn't pull my support from Elon Musk. I wanted to stick with it for him. The YouTube live chat poll for today is a gift card a good gift, yes or no? Jackie said a gift card is a good gift for those that simply don't know what to buy. I prefer to buy and wrap a gift to give. What about bags versus wrapping?
Personally, I love bags.
To give?
Yeah, to give.
Would you rather get a gift in a bag or would you rather get a gift in a wrapped box?
I guess it depends on what it is, because if it's small, it's actually the bag kind of makes it a bigger looking gift. So in that sense, it's
size
more
matters.
Fun to, size matters. Always with me. And so in that sense, I like getting a bigger one. But
go on.
But when I give a gift, I'm not worried about it being as small. Oh, happy holidays, everyone.
Are you crying?
It went there.
Did
There was no intention.
What are you talking about?
You know what? I don't even know. To answer your question,
I'm talking
Annie,
about gift bags.
I love gift bags. They make wrapping a lot easier. And
are you really crying?
I am crying a little bit because it's so stupid.
You gonna go back and listen to that later?
No, I'm not. I suggest not getting this podcast, or just stopping after the second segment. You know what? We've had a fine 2:00 hour. Just skip the last one.
Is that what you would call it?
Fine. Yes, it's been fine. Sufficient. Thank you. So anyway, to conclude, I like to have a big package.
See, what's good here is that kids are getting out of school right now.
Right. And they all look, we're just talking about wrapping gifts. That's all we're talking about. Children.
Parents.
Thanks for the music starting there.
Is a gift card a good gift? 81% of you say yes. So get your gift cards and give them joyfully. Handwritten card?
Yeah.
Are you done? Do you need to leave?
I do.
You can't handle it. How old are you? Get it together. Mark Reardon's going to have to come in here and clean this mess up.
Mark. Sorry, Mark, if you're listening.
I should apologize for all the listeners that just turned our station off. Is that all?
Yeah, I'm done.
Nothing else you want to say?
Let the music play.
Mark Reardon up next.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon getting set here for a Tuesday afternoon. The president of Harvard, Claudine Gay, was grilled on Capitol Hill about anti-Semitism on her campus, and she thoroughly embarrassed herself. We'll have details coming up.
You couldn't pick a worse time to sell your home. Sure, your home is worth a small fortune right now, but are you really going to swap your 2 or 3% current interest rate and pay 7 or 8% interest on a new house? No way. You don't have to with the Get Paid and Stay program from Truehold. This is ingenious. With the Get Paid and Stay program, Truehold will buy your home now at its best current value. You bank the cash and stay in your home until interest rates come back down, or as long as you like. It's your call. Plus, you won't have to pay property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold pays those expenses. Learn about Truehold's Get Paid and Stay program. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com.
Mark Cox here. I've got an idea. Let's all go